Cheap Trick, part of our salute to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. You can go over and vote at Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Radio, which is on
309.
309.
I will vote. After today's song?
Yeah, you're going to vote for Cheap Trick?
I will. Can you only get one vote?
I don't know. I mean, that's how it works in real life. That's how Trudeau just won in Canada. I don't know whether you could just vote endlessly.
If I get more than one, I'm voting them all for Cheap Trick. I never listened to Cheap Trick. This is the first time I heard that song.
What are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I never really listened to Cheap Trick.
That's
great.
Yeah, power pop is unbelievable.
Hell yeah.
Let me just say this. First of all, obviously Gail is our Robin Zander. We know that. But you're our Bun E. Carlos. So I don't think we could have been Cheap Trick, the radio show, without you. Illegal substances. Yeah, Cheap Trick is, it's great. I always thought that Robin Zander was a rock god. I mean, that thing of that voice is just in that right Beatles tonality.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's a rock god voice.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between John and Paul. You know what I mean?
It's right where you want to be.
Yeah. It's fucking nice.
That chewy center?
Here's the other thing, too. Cheap Trick is one of those bands that could also have come out in 1965. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely would have been just happy enough in that scene. Probably could have made it in the 80s as well if they would have started then. 90s, 2000s.
What have you?
Rock gods. Straight up rock gods.
Eternal rock gods.
And that's why Bunny Carlos is our own Stanley Bennington.
Giant rock god fan. Cheap Trick rock gods.
It is. By the way, have we ever opened with a song that we didn't see Joey Joe playing air drums?
No.
Never.
I was focusing more on the air bass that time.
Well, then you're holding sticks when you play your bass because I saw you drumming, and we know our Bunny Carlos is Stan Bennington.
Stay off that, dude, okay?
You're
I'm
right.
the one drumming. All right? I'm not your parents, who I met yesterday. I met Joey JoJo's parents. Really out of nowhere. I'm sitting there with headphones on, and like, what the? Oh, wait.
You should each take your parents out for dinner one night.
I can't. They're passed away.
They're passed away.
They're no longer with us. The show. They're no longer with the show.
Were they ever, dude? What kind of Fight Club childhood did you have?
But Joey's
Southern girls, you got nothing to lose.
Joey's mom gave me a delicious treat from Bouchon Bakery.
Oh.
I thought maybe she made you a Puerto Rican delicacy.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, hey, so where's the chicharrones at?
You know, by the way, I was watching his stupid Periscope with his parents.
Yes.
And like he was like
Periscope?
he was making fun of his parents and stuff as if that makes him independent. But it's just the exact opposite. It's like what every happy child does in the world is make fun of their folks.
Do you know how non-independent he is? They come into this office and they have a bunch of bags with them. I think, oh, they've been going shopping. Nice. They're in New York City. All for Joey. Just bags and bags of clothes for Joe.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
I'm wearing them right now. Check this out.
Are you really?
Let's see. Those nice pants?
Those are nice pants right there.
Those are mom and dad pants?
I think it's great that your mom still knows your pants size.
I thought they were for
Probably
me at
hasn't
first.
changed since 9th grade.
That's why.
Well, money's not an issue for them.
No, it doesn't come off that way, does it?
I like my pants size how I like my ESPN documentaries. 30 for 30.
Jesus Christ.
He's just as wide as he is long. Joey JoJo. A complete cube, somehow. Southern girls. Joe, you like the Cheap Trick, right? You weren't surprised like...
Oh, yeah, I know Cheap Trick.
Like Stanley was. Well, you should. You're a Midwestern boy.
Yeah.
They're the pride of the Midwest. They would have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame decades ago, if not for the regular Midwestern kind of prejudice that happens.
Sure.
Because rock critics live in New York and L.A.
So they like local guys.
Yeah, they like guys that they can go out and see on a Thursday. You know what I memean? That's the guys that they follow. I think the same thing happens with stand-up comedy. You know, you better be in New York or L.A. if you want to get, a TV deal. But there's a lot of ground in the middle of that in-between.
I think there would be something really appealing about being in a non-New York or LA city as a comic. Because I feel like you could set up a scene for yourself
Yeah.
Maybe like king of that scene.
Yeah, king of the scene. But ever notice like you'll never, just think of how many rom-coms that you watch and they're all New York, LA, or London. No one's ever fallen in love in Kansas City. There's no reason at all that, two people meet odd in Kansas City and we know that they should get married.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you think right away if you were pitching a movie, this is a movie where people fall in love in Akron? It could fucking happen. Why isn't that a movie to anyone?
They deserve love.
Why are they always on the Upper East Side or now Brooklyn?
There's no love in the rest of the country. It's just a loveless wasteland.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people must think that. They're like, oh, I like to move to that place where everyone's so romantic and goes to restaurants.
There are none. That's it.
There are no restaurants?
No, in the rest of the country, no. It's just people wandering around trying to get to the coast. When will I find love?
There's a lot of chain restaurants.
We need water.
I wonder how many lonely girls just think I got to either go to New York, LA, or London. Gotta pick one of them. By the way, you won't be able to go to see any movie soon. You will only be able to go see Star Wars. Now, last night, I'm watching the game like a normal person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, person.
And when the Star Wars comes on, I'm like, oh shit, this is a trailer. I didn't know that the entire world knew and was waiting for it because that meant that they could buy tickets. Yeah. So then I went on Periscope, saw my buddy Davey Mack freaking out.
It was scary.
Looking to go, where do you buy tickets? And he was running around and he was just freaked out. And then I see G-Baby. He had done a Periscope and he's huffing and puffing because Fandango had crashed.
Yeah.
And all the other websites had crashed. And he ran down the street to that, whatever that Chinese theater is in Los Angeles, and bought his there physically. And he's, look at this, fuckers. I got it.
He's fucking flashing us.
I got it.
First showing, 7 p.m.
Yeah. I remember when people used to feel that way about Led Zeppelin tickets because, they would only come around one day. But not only do you want to see Star Wars if you're an American, you want to be the first person in your world to see Star Wars.
Now, what did you think if you just tried to forget all the hype and you just think, oh, okay, summer blockbuster movie coming out? What did you think of the trailer if you tried to extract it from all the madness?
Well, first of all, that's almost difficult to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot there, so you wouldn't have, like, if I didn't know Star Wars, would I have thought to myself, this is something I need to see?
Yeah.
That answer would be no, but they already know that. You know what I mean? They know that all they got to do is put up Star Wars and a couple of things that kind of whet the appetite. I mean, there's no such thing as buying a movie ticket 2 months in advance. That doesn't exist on this planet.
It's disgusting to me, to be totally honest. That they have 2 months. Give it like usual, a week. That's when the fucking tickets should be going on for sale. This shouldn't be such a crazy event.
It's an event, not a movie. It's an event. It's like I said, it's Led Zeppelin tickets.
Seeing G-Baby and Dave in the same fucking state freaked me out last night. On opposite coasts, both at tears, pretty much. Dave was having a mental fucking breakdown on Periscope.
Because he didn't know where he could buy them?
He didn't know what the situation was. I think he had went during the game. Now, by the way, this is a Giants fan, right?
Yes!
And his Giants are in first place, playing their rivals who have beaten them 9 out of the last 12 times. I mean, if he should have been bumped up about anything, it would have been Monday Night Football. Which, by the way, was the 2 worst teams playing the worst game.
What, 7 turnovers?
They should all be embarrassed themselves. But that fandom is out the door because the Star Wars thing is so enormously important to him.
I couldn't believe it. I was screaming at my phone. The Giants are losing, and you're trying to get goddamn Star Wars tickets? What are you doing, man?
I don't think I realized his fandom for Star Wars was that at that level.
He really loves Star Wars. I thought he loved the Giants more than Star Wars.
Dude,
that's
most people, their fandom is that level. And for some reason, they act like they're a geek about it rather than in the majority.
Oh, God, this the people commenting online like, oh, it's so great to be a nerd today. And every time I saw the word nerd or geek, I just got angrier and angrier. Reading through these fucking comments. I couldn't take it. Just the fucking fever pitch 2 months out. And because of a trailer that explained nothing and really was repurposing a lot of the actual fucking, the other stuff from the other trailers.
Yeah, but did you see that soccer ball robot? Oh, boy.
I like that thing. I like that thing because it rolls and it's cute.
It's different.
So cute. I just want one for Christmas so bad. Now, are they going to put out the other movies? I remember when they did the second trilogy, you could go back to the theater and see the first trilogy.
Yeah, you will. A couple days earlier, you'll be able to watch all 6 in a row, and then you finish it with going to see the new one. You'll be able to,
In one sitting?
in one sitting, yeah, where you can watch all
That's
6.
impossible.
It's disgusting because you'll be peeing yourself. It'll be piss-smelling theaters everywhere around this
You get up
country.
and pee.
They shouldn't let. No, that should be a fucking.
You got to calm down.
Right.
You've lost yourself.
There should be something saying if you go in, you can't come out till the end of Force Awakens.
I've never seen anything this big. I mean, first of all, what is the biggest movie right now? James
Avatar.
Yeah. Forget about it. That'll be going within weeks.
It's gonna be a shit.
This
show.
is the first time James Cameron will not have the biggest movie since 1997.
That's
Those
weird.
days are over for him.
And all he's got coming up is more Avatars.
Let me tell you something. You want to hear something weird? Since 1970, I guess it was 5, maybe 4, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and James Cameron have the only people who've ever had the #1 movie of all time. It went from
Lucas?
Jaws to Star Wars to E.T., maybe even back to Star Wars because they re-released to Titanic, and then Titanic has held it right up until Avatar. Yeah.
That's so weird. Just 3 dudes.
Have controlled box office for 40 years.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
And most people would say killed movies the way we thought of movies before then.
Well, Avatar definitely heralded in this 3D thing that I don't think anyone's been impressed with since Avatar. And that's really the reason why Avatar was able to fucking make so much money, because it was the first time they, redid 3D, and everyone's like, holy shit, it's 3D, but better now than when it used to be. I mean, they were fucking after Avatar did so well, they were taking movies that were like in the can. Like, hey, let's 3D this thing. Let's make some more money.
It didn't work.
I enjoy a 3D movie for all of 30 seconds, and then I don't want to be wearing the glasses in my eyes.
What I do during a 3D movie is I never stop being excited. I keep yelling out during the movie, it's like it's in the room! It's like the wave crashed on us, am I right?
Did you see that? He came right at me.
Isn't that the purpose for it? That you're supposed to be grabbing at things that aren't there? Yeah, it's not that big a deal to see a 3D movie, but
The glasses hurt my head.
this Star Wars. And why are the phones down? Why are the phones? They crashed?
They
did what?
they crashed, and engineering is working on fixing them.
What? I guess everyone thought that we had Star Wars tickets.
Yeah.
I need them for 7 o'clock on the 19th. I gotta be the first. G-Babe was saying, well, you gotta go at 7 o'clock, or else it's not worth going unless you're there first at 7 o'clock. That's what he was basically saying, as he was flashing them like it was a wad of
But
cash.
I gotta tell you the truth. He bought 11 tickets.
What the fuck?
Which, again, you only do for concerts. You never do that for a movie. And he said he had to sit all the way in the front or all the way in the back. But he was going.
He said he preferred sitting in the front, is what he was saying on the Periscope.
Yeah, because he says it in IMAX.
Whatever.
You want the full thing of it.
You don't get the full thing if you're sitting in the back row? What's the big deal? Come on.
You see all the little heads, I guess, in front of you.
Yeah, who wants to see the little heads in front of you? Yeah, we just want to see a giant Star Wars universe.
I want to not be able to see the whole screen.
Inches from your face.
All right. Some weirdo named Tim Knight said, Hicks, did you watch the trailer? It spoke volumes, shitbag.
What volumes did it speak out? A stormtrooper fucking landing on a desert planet?
Well, you know, yesterday there people were really mad because this thing had boycott Star Wars thing went up because it's white genocide. Because they had put black people in Star Wars.
Oh my.
And the whole thing is about social. What do they call this now?
Oh, SJWs. So I think it's called
Social.
Justice Warrior.
Warriors.
Yeah,
That's it,
social justice warriors. So they're saying Star Wars is a social justice warrior movie. Which, by the way, Lucas told us that the first one or whatever was in the same vein, as does Cameron. For some reason, these guys, I guess, see themselves as progressives. I don't know how.
They're sending out a message to the world to make it better through fucking
Thank you.
TIE fighters. It's ridiculous. And lightsabers. Oh, now things are going to get better.
You're going to the movie. Why do you act like you fucking hate it? You're going, asshole.
Yeah, I am going to go see it.
Everyone's going. I don't know how you can sit and fight this thing.
I'm going to go see Star Wars, but just the way people are acting annoys me. It's.
Why can't you be happy for them? They have something that gives them pleasure.
I don't think there's anything that gives me as much pleasure as everyone's freaking out.
So you hate them for
having joy.
Yeah. For not being in the darkness that you are.
I just want to see the world burn.
Yeah. See?
That's you.
You just want to see your farts burn. That's the problem with
And
you.
there's plenty.
And that's fine, but why do you have to show us?
Look how big the flame is. Be proud of me.
Brickwall says, interested to hear your thoughts on the absence of Luke in the poster new trailer. I have a theory. Let me guess, Brickwall, you have the same theory as everyone else. Luke turned bad.
No. Oh, God, just the constant chatter of, the Luke thing. People are freaking out over that. And then they showed his lightsaber or whatever with the black guy.
Why does he have it?
And then the autistic dude from Girls is the bad guy, which makes no sense to me.
I didn't see. You watch Girls?
I watched the first season of Girls because everyone loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Hated it. And there's a character on there.
Oh, God.
Hated it.
You do everything else everyone else does, and then you act like it's fucking terrible.
It is terrible.
You should do something right now and say that you will never see Star Wars. That would make you the most unique man in the world.
I'm going to go see Star Wars. I'm going to go see it under protest. But yeah, one of the characters on there he seems autistic to me, and now he's playing the bad guy with the red lightsaber.
It will not draw my attention since I didn't spend the first season hating Girls. I can't get mad at people. I see that it's a pleasure place for them. I see their excitement about it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to do. I was watching the trailer thinking if I could just try to imagine this as like, what if this was a brand new summer movie that I'd never heard of? Would I want to see it? I'm not so sure I would, but I understand that most of what people are excited about is just the legacy of Star Wars. It's not necessarily if this is going to be.
I remember, they didn't know when the first Star Wars came out, they didn't open movies the way they do now. It wasn't such a big deal of like opening weekend. And matter of fact, sometimes they would open them in some cities and then roll that over into the next city. And sometimes, some movies would hang around for over a year. So I saw Star Wars like opening, weekend, probably a week, because it was a sci-fi. And we're like, this is fucking great, man. We're going to, so we went back with some friends, and then there was this fucking line all the way through the mall. And it was all like word of mouth to go see Star Wars. You know what I mean? It wasn't,
weird.
Right.
It wasn't the hype. The toys didn't come out before the movie and all that kind of shit. And then fucking Star Wars was just massive after that. But, because you got to remember, in the 70s, there was probably, 1/10 of the amount of movie theaters that we have now. There just wasn't, 15 screens at one place. There would be a movie theater. That's it. Maybe two.
Because that doesn't really exist anymore, like a town that wouldn't not only have a movie theater, but like a major movie theater, like most towns have.
Well, but you think of it as towns would have a big, great movie theater that you could go to. Like the Zelig, those kind of movie theaters existed everywhere. But what you wouldn't have was the AMC 30 like we have now. You know what I mean? You would just have the big movie theater. And then there would be a couple malls that would have some small ones, and there might be 3 or 4 in that mall. What you see now, where it's just this block of itself, and by the way, those are all going to be Star Wars. Everywhere you go, Star Wars is going to be existing. It won't be movies out for Christmas.
Oh,
It'll be Star Wars out.
Another Star Wars movie.
We
Perfect.
see Star Wars every Christmas.
It's just all. I think you're just going to be seeing Star Wars.
Well, yeah, there's the new trilogy, and there's like 3 other movies they're going to put out as well, like alternate, other stories in the Star Wars universe.
All right, our phones are working now. 866-766-0339. 866-766-0339. Or you can always speak to us by hashtag Bennington. Hashtag Bennington. I got to tell you, this Star Wars thing is going to be big. Just mark my words on it.
You think so?
Well, I got 2 friends that are just so freaked out about it that I think it's going to be big. And for all, Chris, to me, is the biggest hypocrite because he's fighting in one direction, and yet he's going to go over Christmas vacation and see Star Wars.
You know what? Can I tell you something? What I did last night? I was looking at all the Star Wars chatter, and then people started talking about, oh, the trailer is lining up with all the spoilers, and I'm like, what spoilers? Because apparently a script leaked months ago, and then I read through the script. And I think I know everything that happens in the Star Wars movie.
Why?
Oh my God, Chris!
Why would you want that experience?
Because people like it lines up exactly with the trailer. I'm like, oh shit, really? And then I was like, I'm gonna read a little bit.
Then why are you fighting with other people that are enjoying? You just did something dumber even than what you're saying people did. You went and
an entire script.
By the way, bootleg, which wasn't the way they wanted you to receive the information.
Yeah,
they wanted you to watch the film.
Yeah. Well, I watched the trailer, and all the parts in the script seemed to line up with the trailer, so it seems like that was the legitimate script. I can tell you what happens.
Here's our buddy G-Baby. G-Baby.
Chris, there's no script online. Stop with your bootleg crap, first of all.
Sure, buddy.
I'm glad that he said that to you. Good, you caught him out on being an asshole.
I'll tell you everything that happens.
And you could prove that. I believed him, so thank you.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, you hear guys talking about my Periscope and stuff. It was a crazy day if you were a fan because if you wanted to see the movie in the first couple of days, you had to buy the tickets, and the tickets were supposed to go on sale after the trailer. But then Fandango dropped them like 2 hours early, and it was a madhouse. And like you said, all the sites crashed. And then, like, for me, the theater I wanted to see it at didn't have, like, the 7 p.m. showtime, so that's why I ran. And it wasn't until later I saw Dave's video and just laughed.
Dave's video, you were settled in. Dave had the, I'm fucking trying to cop. You don't understand. I'm getting dope sick.
My man isn't answering.
Yeah, no one, even in that situation, no one cares about you and your pain. You know what I mean? It just doesn't exist. So looking at him and seeing him freaked out, you're like, well, everyone else wants to see the movie too. Why would they hope that you get your tickets, dogsy? Now, G-Baby, have you ever heard of Fandango and stuff like that crashing before?
No, and definitely not, because not only did Fandango crash, like movietickets.com crashed, a lot of like theater chains have their own sites crashed, and no, they're not. And it's like, you talk about like this has never happened before. The only time it's comparable is episode 1, but that was in 99, and there were ticketing websites, but they weren't as prevalent. Like not everybody was on them. So everybody I know here in LA at least were just on their computer trying to do it. They didn't even think about driving to the theater.
That's so funny.
Yeah, people are like, I can't get the 7 o'clock show. How'd you get it? I'm like, I went to the theater. Like, what?
All right, you just reminded me that people used to sleep out. Like the Ain't It News would always have pictures of guys fucking laying, camping in the street like idiots.
Yeah, I slept out for tickets for episode 1, and that was a mistake. But
you didn't say so at the time, though, did you? You said it was awesome.
No, I saw it 9 times in the theater because I had to. It was like a 30-year wait between movies. Well, not 30 years, whatever it was. It was like I was so excited for that movie. I had to see it so many times to sort of understand it, and then be like, oh man. But then, for the next one, I was hyped up again. The third one, I'm hyped up again, and now I'm right back in that pocket.
Is this the only movie that would make you feel that way, though, G-Baby?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's got to be like something else. But like all the other movies that I really, really love, I don't want to see the continuation of. A Pulp Fiction or Back to the Future, or, whatever, The Shining. You don't want to see more of it, even though some of them you get them. But this is a series that's always built on a whole galaxy, so you want to see more. And ever since '83, you wanted to see this movie. You didn't want to see the other ones. You wanted to see what happens next.
Right, that's is true. No one wanted to see prequels.
Jar Jar, though.
Right, Jar Jar. But you didn't want to see that, and so that sort of adds to it. Even though it's only been 10 years since the last movie, and it was longer before Episode 1, this hype is just so much bigger. It's a whole new regime, no George Lucas. All the characters are back. That's another big thing. We hadn't seen Han Solo on screen since 1983, or Luke Skywalker, or Princess Leia. So all of that just rolls into this big package. And when they say trailer during Monday Night Football, tickets on sale, it creates this fever.
Did you know this yesterday, what he's saying? I didn't know it.
I knew that the tickets were going on sale. I didn't know the trailer was coming on during Monday Night Football.
Well, as a matter of fact, on Thursday of last week, I was the person who exclusively broke the news of the trailer coming out on Monday.
Baby. Beauty.
Yeah, so I was doing that job. So yeah, everybody knew sort of Thursday, Friday that this was happening on Monday.
So that's why the freak out was ready to happen.
Yeah. And that's why ratings for Monday Night Football were up, because it wasn't a dog shit game.
You love the fucking Giants.
I do.
And you didn't give a shit about them last night.
Well, I missed the first quarter because I was running to the thing.
That was the only good Giants quarter.
Yeah, that's the fucking drive.
I missed it. I said on Twitter, I was like, I wish this is the only day. I kind of wish there was halftime highlights because I missed the good play with Odell.
I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, we're going to get fucking crushed.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
And then, by the way, even when we kept winning, I'm like, we still suck so bad.
It was a sloppy game.
It was like watching junior high school kids play. It was two terrible teams playing terribly. What a fucking NFC East shit.
It's a fucking wasteland.
There was no way that the Giants are going to win after, in the span of 4 days, I got 2 Mets NLCS victories.
Go Mets.
Star Wars trailer, a Star Wars poster, and Star Wars tickets. It was just not going to happen.
Too much for you, right?
No, it's too much goodness.
Now, when you hear a guy like Chris who bitches about this stuff and yet he's still going, you realize that the backlash is happening for no apparent reason now, right?
I think people are are starting a backlash to be that contrary voice. It's the Armand White effect. This boycott Star Wars. I'm sure some people thought oh, I don't want to see a Star Wars with a black guy and a woman. But they were also just doing it to troll people and because they knew people would take notice.
But there was...
Everybody loved Star Wars.
In the first fucking Star Wars, there was a black guy.
Orlando.
We had Chewbacca. Why does everybody just... Oh, God, it drives me crazy. It was always been. Now, here's the thing, G-Baby. Is this going to be double Avatar? Is that how big it's going to be?
I don't think so. I mean, it opens in
Triple.
December. It opens in December. The biggest opening ever in December is $80 million. That was The Hobbit. This is obviously going to be at least double that opening weekend. So I don't think it's going to beat Jurassic World opening weekend. And then if it doesn't do that, I don't know. It's going to be close.
It's going to be
Avatar.
every single seat that's for sale that first weekend.
Yeah, it's impossible not to.
No, but no, once they sell out everything, they'll add more theaters. It's like you said, because nobody's going to really care about Chipmunks 4 that's out. They have to have 2 theaters of it.
I'll see it after.
Counter programming.
I'll try to sneak it.
Are there any more 7 o'clock tickets left that I can still get? Because if I want to get 2, I want to do a double feature. What are you going to do
if they suddenly had a Thursday night show? You're going to feel like an asshole.
Well, that's the thing. That's what happened to me at episode 1. I bought 10 a.m. thinking, oh, here we go for a showing, and then they added midnight and 2 a.m. I'm fucking pissed.
You know it's going to happen.
I forget which one of the episodes I saw at the Zelig. Whenever, I think it was the last one that came out in 2000.
Clone Wars?
Or maybe the second one.
I think it was the second one.
But I saw it early in the morning, and the fucking, when the music started, and the place was packed, and everybody was going crazy, and it's the Zelig, and these 2 Wall Street guys get up and fucking high five each other. And I'm like, what? How's this? This is an Entourage. And I yelled at it. I go, Entourage hasn't even been started yet. You know what I mean? It isn't even written. And you're acting like it's Entourage, you assholes.
Sit the fuck down, Vinny Chase. Who?
You'll see, dick.
Based on Mark Wahlberg. You know what? You watch it.
You talk about lining up. I was there for episode 2. I'm in the Triumph skit where he made fun of him. I think I have a small cameo in it.
That's great. I remember when that happened. Now, did Davey Mack get his tickets? Do we know?
I heard eventually, that he's taken care of. Is what that he's.
Some listener?
I believe so. Yeah.
So he wasn't able to do it for himself. Good.
He got him online.
Yeah.
He didn't get him at the theater. He got him online.
Oh.
How many movie theaters are there, and how many of them are really going to know what's happening? At least here in L.A., you think, okay, it's a movie town. They're going to know. They didn't even know when the tickets are coming on sale. And so you go to, you got to Southern Jersey. Those guys had no idea, and that's why Dave was so pissed.
All right, man. Well, I'm happy that you're happy, buddy.
I am. And then we will definitely speak before. We got 2 months. Got plenty of time.
We'll talk every day until then. Tell everybody where they can keep up with your column, too.
Cool, yeah. You see my stuff on io9.com and Twitter at Jermaine Lucier. Thanks, buddies.
All right, pal.
Go Mets.
I had never seen one of his Periscopes before.
Me neither.
But I was laughing my ass off.
I felt crazy watching it. Like, I watched Dave's first, then I went to his. And this is the opposite of him. Like, Dave freaking out in fear, and then him freaking out in joy. It's fucking hysterical. And when he flashed the ticket, I just lost it. He was like, check this shit out.
Hey, Meatface, what's up, buddy?
Hey, that black stormtrooper looks a little bit like Tracy Morgan. You think Astronaut Jones is going to make a cameo appearance?
I hope so.
How could he not?
Now, Gail, are you going to Star Wars?
I don't want to go while everyone's there. When does it quiet down?
March.
No, I say 3 days into it.
You
probably,
think so?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 days into it, you could just start and go to a matinee show and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I'd like a little room. It's not like I don't have anything against it. I just don't want to see it.
You like to spread your shit out.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But, the problem is when we go to see it, people are going to, you'll hear this behind you. Here it comes. You know what I mean? Because people have already seen it.
Come on, we're on their 10th time.
Here comes the Death Star right fucking now. Watch Luke's face when he finds out.
Dude, seriously, shut the fuck up. Seriously, dude.
And this white genocide thing, that people are worried about, the Star Wars white genocide. I'm going to give something away, but so this is a spoiler. Turn it off if you want to right now. I'll give you just 3 seconds. Star Wars spoilers. Star Wars spoilers. Leia had a black baby.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that black baby married another black girl, right?
Yeah, okay.
And they had a 3/4 black baby.
How?
And that, well, it wasn't a 3/4 baby, but because Leah, because they had there was 3 out of 4 black grandparents, so that next baby was 3/4 black. And that black baby got the Force. Was able to control the black Force.
So he's on the dark side.
Hey, dude.
What?
Come on,
fucking
man.
Racist,
What?
man.
I'm just.
You know what?
You're going to be one of the people making dark side jokes?
Yeah, it's the fucking 90s, Jack. Get with it, all right?
This white genocide. Where are my white actors in my science fiction epics? Where are they? Because all I see is that black guy. Oh, and Harrison Ford and Luke and Leia.
And it seems like there's a woman who's the hero of it as well.
Ew.
Wait,
Wait, how could that be if it's the future?
They can't fight in any Star Wars.
Leah is going to be played by Caitlyn Jenner.
Satisfy everyone. Luke! What happened? What happened, Leia?
It ends with her just throwing a shot put. Let's go over here to Ben in New York. Yeah.
Hello?
What's up, dude?
Not much. How's it going?
All right. You know.
I was really, really, really excited to see the trailer, and immediately following it, one of my friends posted online that he's not going to see the movie. It's not Star Wars. If they have so much political intrigue in it, and that there's a Syrian who is a major villain, and I'm like, he could be half Boston for all I care. It's Star Wars.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Who's the Syrian?
I have no idea who the Syrian is.
I have no idea. I've never seen anything.
I think it's Han
I
Solo.
read anything. I asked him to back up that his statements, and he just goes, "Oh, I'm just afraid it's going to be ruined by J.J. Abrams."
Isn't it Dark Sirius? Isn't that the thing that's happening? Phone's fucking up again, Chris?
I feel like everybody's
I can't even hang up on this guy.
why we need it now.
Yeah. Black Star Wars. Oh my God!
Oh my
Chris,
God,
he
he's
won't
here.
go away. He won't go away. Black Star Wars is still sitting there.
It's a catchy song.
Well, you know, when people are on hold, you want to keep them rocking. Go ahead, Chris. What happened with our phone system?
Lack of a connection to a server.
I remember when we didn't even need servers for a phone. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And they'll
Did it,
trunk
however,
lines.
however it is, the phones used to work.
Did it old phone style. John wrote to us at hashtag Bennington. Chris is just mad because no one will ever say I'm your father to him.
Ouch.
That's so mean.
That's really mean. I don't appreciate that, dude.
Maybe the problem with our phones is the satellite was hit by the Halloween asteroid.
Oh my God. It's coming.
It is.
It's not going to be that far away. Like, yes, will it miss us? Of course.
By
but
5 miles.
It's 1.3 lunar distances away. So it's just like barely farther than the moon, which if you're thinking of
What
the
if
universe.
it crashes into the moon? How fucked up would that be?
Why? That's all that ever has happened to the moon.
Yeah, what if it screws up, the water, the oceans?
The moon?
No, what if it
Moon water?
knocks the moon out of orbit? Let's say.
What are you, a fucking caveman?
I thought.
Did you ever see what the moon looked like? It's fucking pockmarked from fucking asteroids.
There's a lot of craters. Yeah. I worry though.
Good. You should worry. We need you to pray to your monkey god.
Is there a giant obelisk I can worship?
Oh, I got some good news for everybody. Judah Freelander's book is out today. Make sure you see it.
If the Raindrops United.
And
Yeah.
you read it. You loved it, right?
I loved it. I was like, God damn it, Judah. This is funny shit. Also in comedy news today, remember Eddie Murphy would not do the Cosby impression on SNL?
Yeah, he wouldn't do it on the SNL 40-year reunion that they did.
He was at the Kennedy Center getting some kind of Kennedy Award. I think just basically saying he's the next Kennedy.
Oh.
I'm not sure how that's
He's been
working.
crowned Kennedy.
He's Teddy now. They give him he's Teddy Kennedy.
More white genocide.
He did a Cosby impression there. He was like, the girls take the pills and they get the dick and the dick fucks the girl. So I don't know how he changed his mind so much.
So quickly. I think he just got tired of people talking about it. He's like, screw it. I'm gonna
Fuck the dicks and the dick, the pills and the dick and the fucking porting. Porting, quote, porting, Polaroid. You notice that all of his fucking products seem to be gone. He had no new Coke. He had Polaroid film.
Pudding.
Pudding.
no.
You never hear that anymore.
Nobody's ever
gone.
talking about pudding. Jello? I mean, that's the most dated dessert there is.
He's the touch of death. Or rape.
He's got the touch of rape.
Touch.
By the way, you asked about the Judah thing. There's 3 sample cartoons up on the iBank today if you'd like to go see them.
I would like to.
We're going to send BL out today and try to make that work better. Dan, I talked with Don today, and you're being replaced in that role.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it would easily go to Joey Jojo, but then, Chris, you had some problems with Joe.
Yeah, I had some, yeah.
You said this in the meeting with Don, Joe's a fuck up.
Yeah, those are the words I used. I said, Joe's a fuck up. Can't trust
That
him.
only leads us to what I believe is the future of radio. Kashmir, come on over.
Sweet Cashmere.
Now,
He's got music.
did
It's well dressed.
coming in? Here comes Cashmere coming in. It's a nice short jacket he has on.
Great.
Yeah.
He always has great shoes, too.
Let's see your shoes. Oh, those are cool. All right. Our problem is you're going to be going out with this old Hooters wench to take her around town.
Sounds like a good day.
You're going to be the producer, right? Now, for some reason, when we send people out in this position, Chris, you're saying they take it lightly.
Yeah, you got to produce this thing, and you got to make sure she's focused in what she's doing, or whoever your subject is on the Periscope. Works for everyone.
There's a lot to be said about producing. It's a very, very important part. Not to our producers. Our producers are just hoping that an asteroid hits this room and they can come running in and grab our mics. But in this case, maybe the fact that you're young, right?
Spry.
You haven't seen death before, you know? This might work in your favor.
Virgin eyes.
By the way, to a youngster like yourself, a pure millennial, do you even care about Star Wars?
I'm a full-on Star Wars, Star Trek person. Yeah, I went to all the conventions when I was little.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am all in for it.
So you got your ticket yet?
No.
And you're not seeing it.
I know.
You're not seeing it.
Maybe in 3 years.
It'll probably take 3 years before you got a chance to check it out. So you're going to be going down, meeting this tired old wench, and taking her around New York to see some sights. Put it on Periscope. Yeah, now it's got to be something in distance to here. Between 30 Rock and Times Square. Is there anything else worth saying?
St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's right around there, too.
Dude, do you fucking know the history of radio at all?
Never mind.
I don't want to fucking move to D.C. again. Jesus Christ, you're the worst fucking producer in the history of the world. Who would say something so goddamn dumb?
I'm retarded.
Of all the places to suggest.
Unbelievable.
Don't go there, by the way.
Please.
You
Mass,
could-
yeah.
Act as if I never said anything, Cashmere.
I know what you could do. Try to get her to have sex with people. Is that what we want to do in the street?
No.
Have her do some body paint.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing nude. Nothing obviously cake related. Just go out and have an old Hooters wench walking around New York. That's simply have to do. But get her to act like she's on, she's running a magazine show.
Yeah.
She's speaking to the camera.
She's been in the broadcasting world a long time, so she should know.
She doesn't know. You
Oh.
saw her yesterday. They were like two fucking monkeys banging a football. They were ridiculous. Now, since she is an old Hooters wench, you might want to take her to Hooters, but that's pretty far away. You can just keep it Times Square, because we got somebody coming in at 2 today, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Mr. Dez Bishop.
Where are you taking him, Chris? Huh? St. Patrick's?
No, I'm not. No.
A bit of the old in and out. Is that your idea?
So you think it's a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea.
That's how you produce?
No, I'm the worst producer ever, and wish I could just put words back into my mouth.
Johnny Rock says, I hope #Bennington will play the old Frankie Mac Halloween bet this year, Halloween morning. I forgot all about Frankie Mac. I haven't seen him in
I know.
forever.
Dog's age.
I don't know why we ever let that get away from us.
He was the best.
What's he been up to these days?
He's just killing it in Canada.
I wonder if he considers asteroids something he
I
needs
think
to.
that's weather. I think it's deep
weather
weather.
related. Deep space weather.
Even Ro knows that you're an idiot for that. He's trying to tell you how stupid you are.
Oh, I know how stupid I am.
No, you don't.
It's monumental.
Thinking maybe Ro could be our new producer.
Do just as good as that fucking buckethead. All right, so you're going to meet her downstairs. Do you know what she looks like?
I'm painting a picture in my head.
Well,
but-
explain to me what the
okay.
picture looks like.
I'm seeing a lot of frizzy hair around, maybe.
No.
No? Oh, damn.
She was an old this kind of crazy blonde Skeletor.
Yeah.
And she saw Gail, so she quickly went for Gail's color.
And bangs, by the way.
Yes.
I didn't notice that until I rewatched the video, and I was like, now that I'm looking at it, she kind of dyed her hair the same color mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carla Finn says we finally get to see Kashmir on Periscope. Let's just put it this way, Carla. Happy birthday in one day. That's all. Gary says, have BL put on ice skates at 30 Rock. She swears that we went ice skating last year. We did not. But you could take her over to the ice skating rink.
Okay. She loves it so much. She loves to talk about it.
This fucking place that she's staying now.
The hotel where she's staying?
Yeah, it still has bathtub gin. That's how fucking old it is. Right now, even though I told her to get here a long time ago, she's like, yes or no. I'm not sure what you mean. I didn't recognize it. She wrote that 15 minutes ago. She's dumb. All right, why don't we break here? We'll be back with BL and Kashmir Take New York. This is the Bennington Show. There's Vito still walking around in his Mets gear as if he was going to get called into a game. But in a related note, I just saw Justin Stanko wearing a Giants jersey on a day that no one should wear that jersey.
No.
Specifically, he was wearing a Manning jersey.
This is a good laundry day for your Giants jersey.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost a burn day for the Giants jersey.
Why? They're tied for first, Chris.
3-3.
Yes. I'm sorry, not everybody can be your Mets, just running away with it all.
No, that's what I expect from all my sports teams now that the Mets are doing this well.
I'll tell you this. If the Cubs win the first game, it's over.
You think?
Yeah, tide's changed.
No way. No way. Nothing's going to stop this Mets
The
tide.
tide is high, but I'm going on. Beat those Mets, kick them in the dawn.
Never.
Kick the dawn.
Nothing can stop the
Kick the
grind.
dawn.
Nothing can stop the dark
The
night.
Mets are gay, so is Stanley.
They're
that's
straight.
good.
They're so straight. Daniel Murphy, the hero of this whole thing, is totally against gays. They're so straight.
Yeah, what is that all about?
They asked him about gay marriage, and he said he was 100% totally against it.
Not for you, for other people. Who would ask a ball player about gay marriage anyway?
I don't know.
Might as well be asking him about physics.
He really went off, and then afterwards he's like, I will no longer give my views on these things.
Yes, you shouldn't.
Oh, Billy Beane was visiting the Mets, and he's gay, and he said, I do disagree with the fact that Billy is a homosexual. That doesn't mean I can't still invest in him and get to know him. Those were his comments.
That doesn't seem to be so bad.
I disagree with the fact that Billy's gay.
I disagree that some of my friends are Italian, but I still try to get to know them.
I disagree with it.
No, you're not gay. I don't agree with your lifestyle choice.
You know, there was some backlash against the Queen of Comedy, Amy Schumer, particularly among Patrice O'Neill fans, and then quite a few comedians came to Amy's defense, including Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, and Patrice's, I'll just use the term common law wife.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's still a term.
Should be.
I think it is.
I like it.
I think it's still a term.
Still a term with me.
So they all came to her defense. They said that it was not lifted,
Yeah.
the bit.
Well, they were saying the bit was, I guess the bit used to be about those terms that were done about 10 years ago where you would say these things were sexual terms.
Like donkey, like in the vein of like a donkey punch.
Or like a dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez,
Jelly
the
donut.
Roman helmet. I don't know what the jelly donut is.
All right, bro. It's when you bang a chick and then you come in her face and then you punch her in the face and break her nose and then you rub the blood and the cum together so it's like a jelly donut.
I remember when I used to have all the terms on their show. So, and I remember thinking, well, these aren't real. People are not donkey punching.
You never broke a
Because a
woman's
lot
face?
of people were acting like they did donkey punch. or they Roman helmet. And I'm like, first of all, it doesn't feel good. So why would you do it sexually?
I don't think a lot of these have ever been used. I would agree with that.
So it was, it finally came around to the point where it was just like, okay, they were both using something out of the old Urban Dictionary.
Right. I mean, who's to say who came up with any of these terms? And who
I'm the one who came up with all of them. And
They're ripping you off, Ron.
Then I put them in the Urban Dictionary. No, I shared it with the world. That's what I did.
It was open source.
Yeah, I open sourced it. Dante Nero also defended Amy, and Dante was Patrice's co-host. So apparently this is just some people trying to stir up some shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like the exact phrases that she was coming up with, like these names, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah. I haven't seen the special, though, to tell you the truth, because there's been too much TV on. I'm very, very busy with quite a few things. The game last night where my team destroyed Chris's game.
Terrible
big time.
And I've never won a game and felt so bad about myself.
It wasn't a great victory.
No, it was a poor
eggs.
victory. I think the only thing that would be worse is a poor defeat. To be in a really bad game and then lose.
The Giants.
Which has actually happened earlier in the year.
Yep.
To the Eagles. I mean, they were... Is that...
Working on the phones.
Phones, okay.
Right
I thought it was 9/11.
in my ear.
I was like, ladies and gentlemen, 9/11 just happened.
I'm just going to take the headphones off for a moment.
You should take them off and leave them off. Matter of fact, I'll come up here with a truck and run them over for you.
Thank you so much.
So I forgot. Oh, here are the things I've been into lately. Fargo last night. Unfucking believable.
Holy shit, man.
It was such a great show. Now, tonight I get the Mets game, as well as Public Morals, a 2-part season finale. If you don't watch Public Morals, you're fucking insane. And if you're not watching Fargo, I feel like I should send a Nut Hut car to your house, take you and your family away to Arkham Asylum.
Do you find in Fargo, Kirsten Dunst's husband, the blonde guy, who was also on Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I still hate that guy from Breaking Bad.
First of all, he's red-haired, not
I thought he was blonde.
I think he's red-haired.
Yeah, he's
strawberry blonde?
A strawberry blonde, but I would still say a redhead.
Ginger.
Or a ginge.
Okay. Yeah. And that's the reason why you feel like you hate him. He has a gin face. Like last night, first of all, the other Breaking Bad thing was he was just wearing tighty whities. But he has that hateable face. Like if you were in high school and you went into that guy, you're like, I'm going to fucking sneak that guy by the end of the night. And you'd be like, why? And then you're like, there's something about him. There's something about that fucking guy. I'm just going to fucking nail him.
Did you see his face?
And yet, she's the real fucking pain in the ass. And he's the dope who's in love and fucking up his life over it. But the old lady in this, Jean Smart.
God.
First of all, I'll just say it right now. And the Emmy goes to.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
From Fargo, Jean Smart. Yay, Jean, you did it! Well, I used to be on Designing Women, and now I'm on Fargo, 2nd season. It's amazing. But you guys, I can't get in the Public Morals. It's all out there.
I know.
Start, binge watching.
I'm going to binge it up.
Yeah.
Everything I do, I binge.
We
eating,
noticed.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Periscoping.
Smoking. Yeah, and now he's done because it's during the week.
Yeah.
And then we get 80 of them. Ro actually said this because she's a better producer. Remember the guest speaker at Fez's parents' anniversary party? When they asked what characters, they were saying they were doing like a thing and what characters does Fez play on the radio. I gave a bunch of those terms. I forgot all about it.
Right.
So that they would read them off. And they did. And Fez was humiliated. Because the guy said, we want to bring Fez up. Well, actually, they're like, we were going to bring Todd on, up to talk in front of his dad. What are some of the characters that he plays? And they sent me this email. And I'm laughing as I'm writing it back. And I just fucking gave out a bunch of those terms. And then he brought it up later that they had done it. And then he went to the guy.
Couldn't believe it.
He went to the guy and said, "What were you doing?" He goes, "Your partner told me about all your characters." And this is like a real prank when you're not even there to enjoy it.
No.
When it's like I set off, I set the timer on the bomb, and then I went to the Bahamas. You know
And
what
you
I mean?
didn't check the news.
Yeah. No, I didn't check the news. Nothing. I had to have one of the victims say, "Was that you?" These phones are fucking up today, huh?
I know.
What happened? Stangle prank?
Probably.
Stangle prank.
Stangle prank.
There's nothing funnier than a Stangle prank. Let's go over this right now. Who's your favorite Stangle?
This is really tricky.
Yeah.
Hard to make a decision. I feel like maybe Justin.
Mine is any that isn't Justin.
Okay.
I don't know how many Stangles are out there altogether.
After that trolling Giants fans for wearing that Manning jersey, Eric Stangle's my favorite Stangle.
Well, Justin said he just wore that because it's comfortable. He didn't even know that they played.
Weird.
What says Vito? Oh, come on, when you're almost at the time. All right, Vito sent us a thing that from a Facebook that 2,000 people have the same problem as him. It's a serious issue, guys.
Is this about his balls again?
And then he put hashtag wet balls matter. And here's the thing. He sends that tweet, right? I'm looking through that window and see him sitting there.
Oh, come on.
He's not at work.
He's supposed to be working for another show.
Has any work ever been done on that row of computers outside of here?
No, Senator. None at all.
Thank you.
It's easy to tell the truth, Senator. It's just what I do. So Amy has been released out of comedy jail. And what does this make her accusers look like now? Woman haters? Does it make them look like misogynist woman haters?
Exactly, yeah. And they say anyone defending her is an SJW.
What's that?
The social justice warrior.
The SJ Dub thing.
Look, I try to stay out of any social justice or defending social justice.
Good.
I am basically the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Mammals, I don't want to say what kind of mammal it is.
Sure,
I don't want to
yeah.
offend, and then I don't want to look like I'm afraid of offending.
Sure,
Right.
yeah.
Mammals is fine.
Just mammals. Some mammals moved into our neighborhood and they started trouble. Oh, well, there's this mammal at our bank.
Yeah.
Who acts like it's his money.
Oh, God.
Speaking of idiot mammals, Johnny Football. His girlfriend now says that he hit her.
Yeah, hit her twice.
He said, but then after he hit her twice, she threw his wallet out of the fucking window of a car that you were driving. Now, I think we've all been in bad relationships before.
Where crazy shit goes down?
Yeah. So we can point out to both Johnny and his girlfriend, get away from each other.
Yeah.
Because you've taken the hit off the rage crack pipe, and there's no going back. You have to get away from each other now. You know what I mean?
So the wallet going out the window happened after being hit.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Right.
Detox off each other. Quick.
Right. But if not, 5 years from now, she'll be saying, like, what do you want to do, Johnny? And he goes like this, why don't you just throw my fucking wallet out the window again, bitch? You know what I mean? Like,
that's your move, right?
You're never going to fucking forget about it.
Why would you?
She's like, oh, you don't want to put the seat down. Well, I put the seat up so I can block any wallets from going out the fucking window, whore. You know who else is a whore? Your mom. That's how fucking bad it is. I met her. You're a whole whore nest fucking family. And everyone's just like, Dudes, we told you,
Guys.
end this years ago.
But she's the queen whore.
But don't you have people that you're like, I want you both to get a divorce from each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Divide up the kids any way you want. One person take them all, each take one or two. Doesn't matter. Stay away from each other.
Do you understand?
This fucking Johnny football is never going to make it in football.
No.
He cannot learn from his mistakes.
Everyone thought he went to rehab. He was doing well.
No one thought that.
Well, I heard reports that he was
Do
doing
you
well.
know the percentages of people who relapse after rehab?
Most, right? It's pretty high.
Thanks for fucking just trying to give generalized answers. You know what? I think that Mets hat is too tight on you and it's making your brain hurt. You know what? I'm also never going to forgive you for bringing up fucking St. Patrick's.
That was very
So,
stupid.
yeah,
gonna
that's
come up
our
again.
wallet out the window. That's
No.
You know what our wallet out the window is. You know what that is.
Yeah.
What is it?
Nothing good.
You don't even know what it is, do you?
I don't know. I've fucked up so many times.
No, only one, buddy. Only fucking one. I bet you know without me even saying, right, Jay?
Yeah.
So BL said that the traffic sucks. She said she was taking a train, and then the traffic sucks.
Train traffic?
Do you know where the kid is? Does he have her yet?
Okay, I just got a text saying Kashmir has BL.
Put me on the phone with Kashmir.
Okay. Call Kashmir, boys.
Takes two guys to call.
Or one of you.
By the way, there's a video up on the iBang of a dog on a giant waterbed, a.k.a. pool, running around like that. And all I wait for is for the dog to drown.
I know. I thought this was a thing that we say nobody steps on the pool with the pool cover. It's just some sort of newfangled pool cover? Because this dog is going to town on this thing.
He's going to tear it open.
But look how fun it looks. Look how adorable he is.
He loves it.
Right before he drowns, he's going to be the best dog ever. That dog looks like fucking Marmaduke.
That's a Marmaduke dog. For sure.
By the way, I saw a dog that fucking big in Central Park, and it was sitting with its ass on the fucking bench. And its feet were like down like this.
Just straight?
Yeah.
Like touching the ground?
Yeah. And it was like funny and frightening. All right, Kashmir.
Hello.
Do you have the old Hooters wench with you?
I have her, and she is very alive.
Oh my God.
Yes, right? Old Hooters girl shit, she says. This is what we're up to.
Don't talk like that's what we're doing. We're shopping.
She's running much faster than I ever have.
Where is she running to?
She's running to 30 Rock.
Now, why don't you point out to her, don't you get you fired the way she got Dan fired?
Tell her that.
Oh, can you make sure not to get me fired like you got Dan fired yesterday? You didn't hear that? Yeah. You got it. You got to be. No, yeah, come on. This is riding on me. Yeah. I'm 21. I don't have a lot to live for.
So down himself.
Sweet.
All right, how far away are you, Kashmir?
We are right at 30 Rock right now.
All right, what are you going to put up as your headline? What did Chris have you put up?
We're going to be doing Old Hooters Wench in NYC.
All right, I guess part 2 is all we got here then. All right, we're going to hang up with you, and then we're going to watch you on Periscope.
Sounds good.
Godspeed, son.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I cracked that scope.
Hearing that is giving me
She's
anxiety.
still screaming.
Before the phone even came on, she was screaming.
How could you tell, Chris?
Because she was like mid-scream as soon as you picked the phone up. Like,
Are your ears a lot better than ours?
they're
What
getting
is
worse.
it, boy? What is it?
This always gets to me. So Gary Del Tupo just can't wait to write to Eric and Justin Stengel that we were talking about. They were talking about you on their show.
Ugh. I hate when people do that.
I want you to. I hear they're being talked about.
You're that kid in school.
Yeah,
Like, you're that dude, just so you know.
dude, it's live.
Oh
Here
my
we go.
God.
The trouble starts. The trouble starts. Old Hooters winch in NYC.
Does that officer mind if we do a little periscoping?
Oh my God!
All
Why?
right, so we're live. Hey everybody, it's BL. I'm live in New York City. Live in New York City, periscoping. It's the Old Hooters winch on the road for Scope Talk Live. 30 Rock Building, beautiful day in New York. Nice gentleman, Leslie, is allowing me to stand in his corner. How you doing, Leslie? I'm BL. I'm from Florida. If you ever need direction, all you gotta do is say, "Hey, old lady, which way to the beach? Do you mind being on film, sir?"
Welcome to New York.
He said, "Welcome to New York." That's so sweet. Oh, can I kiss you? Can I?
No.
Yeah. No kissing. Don't touch.
A hug is fine.
Can we hug?
Yes, we can.
Okay, he said I could hug. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Does he approve?
Yes, yes,
He
it's all
approves.
good. Thank
Okay.
you so much. It was great to meet you, Leslie. Thank you. Okay, let's run around and check this out. The ice
God.
skating is open today.
She looks like a whacked out Mary Tyler Moore.
I'm so sorry, sir. Oh, I just stepped on the man's heel. Are you all right, sir? You're not hurt. Okay. All right.
Look at those hard tits.
All I can tell you is that it is just, all I know is we can skate. This is what we do. Okay, let's get serious. Skate. People, we're going to skate. We're snowboarding. Snowboarding? The rink is open. It's a fabulous day in New York.
Oh, God.
I don't even need all these clothes
Is it
right
over the
now.
top?
In fact, look at my skirt. I mean, I'm killing it. I'm killing it here, okay?
Fucking skirts
Not
are
really.
killing it.
I don't mean to yell it out for an officer Leslie. But anyway, people are already running all over the place. And there goes the big bus. It's a tour bus. You can see that. Everybody's seen it before. But it is an exciting day for the news. It's an exciting day for the Mets. They take on the Cubs tonight. I don't know if you heard about it.
This is like
but
if
don't mention the word
the
Murphy
Today Show
in
did
Chicago
fucking meth.
because of the whole thing with the cow and Mrs. O'Leary, and we all know the story about that. If you don't, Google it. We're going to keep moving.
All right, let's see what people are writing. Give her hearts, by the way, too. BL is pretty bangable. Of course, they'd have to tape her mouth shut. Oh, my God. Miss Piggy dressed her. She's hotter than I thought she'd be.
Did she come from a Civil War reenactment?
She's the one that turned Fez gay.
Is your husband available? No. Have you ever cheated on him? Oh! Mwah! Love, meat, no speaking English. No. Okay.
Why is that her catchphrase?
Let's go
She's
to
at 500 viewers. Pretty good.
What are you, the fucking
Killing it.
accountant?
We're live
No.
on Scope Talk Live. Okay? Look at this. Look at this Statue of Liberty, okay? She's the one that's killing it. Our gift from France, so many years ago. I think I slept with the guy that gave the gift. I'm not sure. I'm totally just a little bit out of it. I'm running late. You know, Benny's a little frazzled because, anyway, he's frazzled with me at times because I don't follow direction. And I have holes in my sweater, kind of like a Mrs. Bojangles situation. You see that? You like
I love
that?
her on her own, just trying to fill time.
But I
with
love
it.
my killing it skirt. I bought it last night at a situation, I don't know, somewhere in a neighborhood. I was tipping back a little bit of Woodbridge with a, I don't know, waterback. Straight up, baby. Woo! We are in New York City live. Come on, this is the BL. I'm the old wench from Hooters, 1983. Pardon me, sir. Excuse me, you want to get married? I've married everything, every race, color, and creed. Where are we heading? To Times Square?
Yeah. You're going to Times Square. Someone just writes, yes, big tits at her. All right, you're freezing on yours, but on my phone, I'm going along perfectly. Was that our phones again?
Again. It's still working on the phone, really.
Oh, we haven't fixed yet?
Husband. Okay, down. Let's take some direction here. Excuse me, sir. Sir, may I help you?
May I help you?
May I
There's a
help?
man just fucking sitting there. And she says, may I help you?
May I
In the
help
first
you?
Hooters back in 83.
Oh my God.
Baby, life is a chicken. Look at you. Look at you. You got a wife?
No.
You want to get married?
One night, yeah.
Mind doing a little Periscope?
Now,
take your top off. Oh, God.
can you? Someone says, is she wearing Gail O's old clothes? Tig old biddies. Look, I remember when she had no tits, and it's not like I knew her when she was young. Tell her to text your boy. Tell her to ask for hearts and for follows.
Oh, I love the ride the horse. 9 fingers.
9 fingers.
Oh my God, that frozen image. She's crazed. She's crazed.
This people always bring up the term runaway train without knowing exactly what it means.
She's the definition.
Yeah. You gotta love her.
How can you not?
I know. It's crazy not to. Do you worry that you in the future, though, when you see that she's done her hair exactly like yours?
Yeah, and same breast, too, so.
Same hard breast.
It's same rock hard breasts.
You got rock hard tits. Oh, yeah. Rock hard tits. BL. I forgot who paid for those, too. It might have been one of my old bosses.
Is that right?
Yeah. She broke up the marriage of one of my old bosses. It was very funny. Like, everybody was all...
It's a big scandal.
Yeah, everybody in the place was scandalized with it. Like, all the little fucking accounting women and all. And they're like, do you know that he's... I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care? Why does everybody care who's with who?
People love the gossip about that shit.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit if someone gets married or breaks up.
Yeah.
That's their fucking shit.
They're doing what they want to do, right?
Yeah, but did you hear why? Okay.
That would be like me getting upset if someone said I no longer want to eat salmon. I don't fucking care.
Giving it up, Rod.
Okay.
Done with it.
Do your thing then. I don't know why she said that they made her get rid of her blonde hair, but that's her look, you know?
Yeah, well, she was forced to go brunette.
I don't know if the government was involved, but she had to kick out of it to get it conditioned or something.
Oh, okay. Just bleaching the shit out of it, maybe for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, too many years. I'm watching her numbers pop, though. She crushes your numbers, Stanley. I love her not knowing where to go is better than having her do a thing.
Periscope.
We broke Periscope.
Periscope Live. TV Live. And don't forget, I need hearts. Please, I need your heart. Not that
like
one kind of heart. I need your hearts on
Just
fire.
say, stop begging like there's children
weird.
dying.
Follow me on Twitter. Go to the iBang pound Bennington.
No.
Oh, God.
Talk live right at
Put the kid on the air
and
so
it's
we
a
can
beautiful
tell
day
her
in
what
New
to
York
do.
City, and the Mets taking on the Cubs.
She keeps going back as if she's hosting a show for the
This is
fucking
BL.
Food Network.
And we will talk to you in just a little bit. I'll be right back. Pardon me, miss. Live for Pound Bennington. Talk Scope Live. And I need
Scope Live.
We'll be right back.
Don't Scope Live, she just screamed.
Oh my God.
I need some scope. I need some heart. Please give me hearts. Give me hearts.
Please.
For the love of Christ. Oh, she's fucking funny. As shit. You got the kid on?
Still connecting with him.
Thank you. Our accounting department is on top of it. What is this, our phone's fucking up still?
Yep. Every about 5 minutes, the phone seems to want to shit on our mouths.
Chris, she's at St. Patrick's.
Oh, God,
Chris, you said that you'd take care of this, Chris.
I told him
All
not
right,
to.
it's frozen, and the thing that just says there, somebody wrote, is this a man?
You know it's not a man.
Okay, got Cashmere.
All right. Hey, Cashmere.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay, I love this catchphrase. This is great.
Cashmere, first of all, this is a million times better than yesterday. I love the, don't tell her, but I love the panic. The panic is wonderful. So let's, all right, so you guys are off Periscope right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so where can we send her next? There's a, I mean,
She's itching to go to Times Square, and I think she might fit in there really well.
Let's go to Times Square.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, she's not even on the scope right now. She's screaming for hearts to no one.
Yeah.
I think she needs hearts in a lot of ways.
Oh,
that's sad.
Yeah.
All right, let's, you know, I'm trying to think if there's anything, it might be fun to take her to the Diamond District and see how she interacts there.
Sure.
I don't like when she touches people, though. You want to keep your job, Kashmir.
Yeah, I've been keeping those hands at bay. She beat me out to the horse.
So start it in front of our building, and then just have her say she's going to give you an old Hooters wench tour of New York City, and then take her to Times Square, and have her like walking as she's going there, but no touching anyone, no physically touching.
Yeah. I got it.
And then she has to say, follow us, click follow so you can get more of these.
Yeah, follow.
Because a lot of people come from all over the world to see this. Should I break here, Chris?
We can break here, yeah.
All right, we're going to break. We come back with break. We're going to have you guys live on Periscope. BL in New York. This is the Bennington Show. BL is back if you're going to follow her on Periscope. You just go to Twitter to the iBang and click on there if you're not already on Periscope, and you can watch it from your computer. And I believe your phone if you do that. She's already at the top of the front page of Periscope.
Times Square and see what's happening there. And I think we're going to head out in a little bit. But tonight, big matchup between the Cubs and the Mets, of course, as you know. Big New York night, I tell you. They're at the Cubbies. And from what I'm hearing on the news outlets this morning, if you use the word Murphy, because Murphy, of course, the starter for the Mets, Miss O'Leary's cow, the whole oil, and all that 1920s jinx all started with that whole Murphy mess. So maybe some of our heart lovers can fill me in on some of the things I'm missing from that. Otherwise, we're going to go see some more hung horses. And there's a really nice, pretty horse. I don't look at horses deals. You know what I'm saying. But we are going to head out, and I do have my skirt on. So if you think I'm killing it, I have the skirt on. It's actually typed into the skirt. Bring me your hearts because it's there, baby. And I am killing it. Yes, sir. Hi.
Why do you keep saying that you're killing it?
Fox president just walked by. Hurry up. Winky's probably going to come out here and pull me off the street. Winky. Oh, my God. Whoa. Have you let your lights shine down?
Maybe she.
Who's that dude?
Yeah. You like Collective Soul?
Collective Soul?
Yeah. That dude does not like Collective Soul. Whoa. Have you let your lights shine down? Yeah. Yeah. That's how the song was done, dude. Go Mets. Yankees.
Yankees like Yankees.
Hi, what can Brown do for you? Oh, crap, that's the wrong company. All right, let's just keep walking. Right now, we're going to head over to Times Square. And the touristy stuff you guys have all seen. But we're going to try to find some new things going on.
Oh, BL's Times Square. The underground Times Square.
When real people approach real things in the streets. And that's what gets hearts going. Your hearts are on fire on Twitter. ibang.com. And, of course, hi, how are you? I love you so much. How are you? I'm BL from Tampa, Florida with the Bennington Show. I'm sorry about the Twitter feed. It was about a kid. It's nice to meet you.
Who is it?
Pleasure. Thank you. Nice to see you. Yeah, that was, what's his name? Let's move on. What was his full name?
George
I've
Stephanopoulos.
watched him on TV for years, but he saw
Josh Dosen?
Yes. Thank you, Heart Lover. The hearts are helping me on the streets of New York City.
That
on
was
this
your first
beautiful
celebrity
day.
interview.
I know. I'm freaking out. I've been looking at him for years. I wonder if he was married. But he saw the toilet paper, so probably thought I was homeless.
Why didn't she interview
New
him?
York's finest, going to take care of some business.
So that was George Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
How come nobody knows? His heart was on fire back there. You see it?
God, why do we even bring up heart?
Killing it at Times Square, baby. We're killing it on Periscope.
She gets something in her mind.
Yeah.
Pound Bennington.
Oh, God.
So you're just watching her run into George, and people don't realize that about our neighborhood. It's just nuts that way. Although the last time I was with her, she's like, look, it's Tia Leone. This woman had to weigh 185 pounds. I'm like, it's not her. She goes, Brian, I know fashion. What is she doing?
No, but I have his autograph. I have his daughter's autograph. Yes, may I help you?
May I help you?
No.
Why does she keep saying, may I help you?
She thinks she's still working at Hooters.
Let's keep moving. This is where you got to keep
Now, to
moving and
point this
show-
out to people, Hooters was hired Lynn Austin first and then BL second. She was the number 2 Hooters girl in America hired. A guy, Ed Rosti, was on his boat, saw Lynn Austin on the beach, and he was opening up a new restaurant, dove off his boat, fucking swam to her and said, I want you to come and work at my new place. And Lynn's friend was BL. So she was hired.
Sure, you can too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, bring your friend.
I've got way too many clothes on. A wool sweater with a hole in it. And, hey, there's some of my extra baggage. Excuse me, guys. Yeah. May I scan extra baggage for a shot for Periscope?
Oh, God.
This is all my ex-husbands. Yes, they're inside the bag. They're buried right
That's
here.
it. She sees baggage. I
Okay.
think it had to do with her being married a lot.
Giving me some heart. Oh my God, construction workers. Can I have you on Periscope for a quick little hello?
She just called them destruction workers.
Can I talk to you, distribution workers?
Just like a little sexy
Oh, God.
We're on Periscope with Bennington.
Oh, shut up with my name.
Oh, no.
And I appreciate your service. And everybody to mainly I'm older, but
I'm older.
not that bad. Yeah.
Then she yells at everybody with her fucking toilet.
Girl.
They hate me. Oh my God, which way are we
Look
going?
how
Okay,
thrilled
this
she is
is the
just to
heart
have
of
a
it,
little bit
baby.
of attention.
Check it out.
That's why she flew here, to be on fucking
This
Periscope.
is the heart and soul. The stop sign. Keep moving. We gotta keep moving.
Out of the
I
tree.
know your world. You too? We're on Periscope. Can we Periscope to stop? She's busy.
Let go of her.
We are hanging. We're killing it in New York City, baby.
Oh, God.
Get off the street. Get off the street. Thank you, miss. Mira. How you doing, buddy?
Mira, look at the crazy woman.
Enjoying New York. We're Periscoping.
Oh, my God. She's just thrilled to be. Just.
You can find me on iBang.
No, you can't. Just say hit follow.
We are on Periscope Live. This is, I can't believe I saw my man, my heart's on fire.
She doesn't even know his
I already
name.
interviewed my first celebrity. I need hearts. I need your heart right now.
Oh, fuck.
Hello.
She needs the hearts.
She's getting them.
She's drunk. She's drunk. I tell him to start working her way back here. We'll let her come up here the last hour. Ruin the rest of our show. God, how she wants it. Like when you see, all right, just think of your staff, Chris.
Yeah.
And how shy they are. They can't move for a second. Imagine if you would have BL. You know what I mean?
She's a whirlwind.
But the problem is she causes as much pain as pleasure.
It's a goddamn coin flip.
Yeah. She fucking literally looks like a pirate's flag.
She burns so brightly, that one, though.
Yeah. She burns so brightly that she'll end up lighting the house on fire and burning the people away. Hey, look at this thing that got sent to us from GVAC. It's on Twitter. Let's try to retweet him. He takes it in a happy way, but it's a fucking guy who's in Philadelphia wearing a fucking New York Giants shirt. I should show this to Justin Stengel. Now people are saying, was it John Stossel? You thought it was George Stephanopoulos, right?
Yeah, I thought it was George.
She didn't stay long enough to fucking get something out of him. All right, so here's this thing. Make sure we retweet it on the iBank. But watch this guy. I think he's walking through the 69th Street Terminal, which everybody in Philadelphia knows, and he's wearing a Giants
Manning jersey.
A Manning jersey. Let's put up the sound of this too.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. I'm just being truth, man. I'm just being
Oh my God.
Whoa.
They're nuts.
They are nuts.
They're crazy.
No, yesterday somebody sent me a thing. I didn't put it up. It was on World Star of a guy walking down the street in Philly wearing a Giants hat. And the fucking guy just stops his car and goes, "What the fuck are you doing? You're in the wrong fucking city." Hops out and just takes the guy's fucking hat off him like he was a fucking,
Yeah.
like he was a baby. But let's watch this again.
Here's this poor bastard.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. I'm just being truth, man. I'm just being
Listen to the other people just cheering.
They don't break stride after they drop this fucking dumb bastard. Gotta knock someone out to the game.
So GVAC sent that to us, who I believe is a Giants fan. He still thinks it's funny. We got it. He got it from Deadspin. But I try to warn people about wearing the other jersey all the time.
It's so stupid. You see it at Yankee Stadium all the
I
time.
wouldn't even wear a fucking Giants jersey in New Jersey because there's that fucking river. People from Philly can get. Get a hold of Cashmere for me, would you?
All right. They're calling. Or the phones are dead. We can't talk to them.
Oh,
I heard the hub is dying is the fucking update.
I don't know what that means, but
Neither
call them
do
on
I.
your phone and just tell them both to come back. I guess we'll never be able to talk to you folks at home again.
we miss you so
because
much.
From what we understand, the hub is dying.
You can luckily still reach us on #Bennington, but that's it.
That's it.
New update. He is Cashmere and Beal are coming, but the hub is completely dead now. So it's gone.
Okay, he's not going to say that to you, though.
No.
So, BL is coming, is that
Yes.
what
Yes.
to say?
Yes.
All right, good. So that's fucking awful, and yet not even slightly shocking what happens in the city of Philadelphia at the 69th Street Terminal. Madness to the outsiders, yeah. This is why we love that Delco Proper show.
Yes. By the way, my man has so many stories of people he knows starting fights with people for wearing the wrong jersey, the wrong hat, and he's just like, I gotta get out of here.
I've seen it happen a million times.
And he's like, but I can't help the dude,
Right.
you should know. You don't do it.
No, you fuck up by doing that. I mean, this happens to you if you go to Oakland, San Francisco.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fucking people. And then you're like, and then they'll do the news story and they're like, isn't this madness? Yeah, it is madness. But also, you sell these people this fucking sports stuff. They get crazy. You saw Chris the other night on TV. He's screaming like crazy. He's not that type of person, but he's fired up.
Hell yeah.
Then all of a sudden, if you have somebody come in, hey, I'm from Chicago, you guys blow. They don't know how to retain themselves anymore. They've lost their minds. You're plowing them with alcohol.
No.
You're bringing this city pride thing to them. And they get stupid. This is a stupid thing to happen. but you heard in a terminal. By the way, we're not even in the stadium.
No.
We're in
This
a
is just walking about.
terminal. And people cheered when they saw a Giants fan get knocked out.
Clapping. Good move.
Now, quite frankly, you shouldn't even cheer if you see somebody from ISIS get knocked out. You should be like, you know what? That person should get a fair trial in front of his peers.
This guy gets no trial whatsoever. The sound of his fist just like hitting his eye socket.
But this,
disgusting.
I know. This is the weirdness of sport because no one knocks out the Westboro Baptist Church. Nobody. But if the Westboro Baptist Church walked into Philadelphia wearing a Redskins jersey, they might get knocked out for that.
Right.
That's
terrible.
what matters.
What's bigger than sport in this country right now? What do people care about more
Star
than
Wars.
sport?
If you show up with a Star Trek shirt,
It's actually very fucking funny.
You're gonna
That's
get
a bit that we
fucked
should
up.
do. What are you fucking doing here? You're at the wrong theater, you fucking Vulcan.
Be a Spock lover.
And he's telling people to suck his Spock. The people that I saw just fucking decked out in Met stuff today, I'm laughing because I've been here all summer. I don't know why you haven't been dressed up all summer.
You know how much small talk I'm making with people because of this hat in elevators and on
I
subways?
swear to God, Dino just walked by and he looked like he was getting on the team bus.
He had 4 pieces of gear on. It's been like that every day.
He is out of his mind. Wet Balls Matters is out of his mind with the amount of fucking Met stuff that he has. Why aren't you wearing a catcher's mask right now?
I got to wear the same thing every day that they play now because I'm superstitious.
so that means no laundry, right?
Wait, so you actually think your wardrobe deems whether the Mets win or lose?
Yeah, no, I got to go to the same bar. I got to wear the same outfit.
You're not that important, dude.
Baseball-
I fucking know you.
Baseball's more superstitious than Salem, Massachusetts, man.
You're not playing baseball.
I'm watching.
You're a sometime fan.
I'm an always fan.
I don't know. I've never heard you bring up the Mets to me in all the
saw
years
me
I've
wear-
known you.
Every day I worked here, I wore a Mets hat.
Bullshit.
Except one day where I wore a Yankee hat for my Chris Stanley costume.
I was wearing the Mets hat every day. That was me, Ron. Don't you remember?
No, I don't remember either one of you guys.
Don't remember a lot of Mets talk at all, actually.
None.
Constantly talking about Terry Collins and
The
Dark Knight.
only friends that I have to talk about baseball with me is Mr. B.E. Douglas and Davy Max.
I wore wrestling shirts and Mets hats every day.
Yeah, you wear a lot of wrestling stuff, and you're always fucking excited if somebody comes in here and they're a wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw you excited about a ball player.
He never cared.
No Mets players ever came here when I was here.
Oh, yeah.
Plain did.
They all did.
But DDP comes in and he almost loses his mind.
He pushed Ron Darling down so he could get the DDP.
I met DDP again a few weeks ago.
You remember you? You guys bros now?
No, but I met him in Scott Hall and it was
All
fun.
right, hold on. Here it comes.
Oh, God. Here comes.
Well, what are you freaking out about? What are you freaking out about?
Hello?
You-
It's Bia. Hearts.
Bia, let me just point this out. Your tits look like fucking two meteors racing towards the earth.
God.
What is with them?
Oh, it's a very spit take.
Now, can I just, I'm going to say this right away. The kid did an unbelievable job as the producer.
Fantastic, Kashmir.
Hello.
Unbelievable. I don't know how Dan can even look at you.
Tell him to not look at you when he looks at you.
You had her motivated. She was making sense. People around the world were commenting on, as they said, Crazy Beach. They loved it.
It was fantastic. I tell you, this is the way your dad, Gail. Hi, Chris. This is the way your dad trains and makes it happen. This is what he did with me 30 years ago. And if I would have listened, that's why I'm telling this kid. I mean, he did not give me ideas. He just let me go.
You know what? I should have you talk to Wiki, because today he came up with things, and I go, it's not the way we treat people. We have to train people. And that's why BL can go out there and kill.
Yes, well trained.
By the way, any show could have had Dan. Any show could have had Joe. Any show could have had Chris. Any show could have had him. They come in as clay. And what do? We want to mold them in the clay, put some magic potion, and then watch them turn into real boys and have them go running down the street. Who was it that you ran into on the street today?
I think it was John Stossel.
Then why don't you stop and talk to him?
I did I not? We
no,
did.
We were watching you live. You're like, I've seen you for years.
It was John Stossel, I'm pretty sure. I need to confirm that. But I was holding a roll of toilet paper, so he wasn't sure if I was homeless, dressed up, or what I was doing.
Yes, that's why it would have been funny if you would have stayed with him.
I shook him twice.
Yeah, I saw you shake him, but that's not an interview. You had a chance to do an on-the-street interview. You could have brought up the news of the day.
I know, I was just in shock. I still forget I'm in New York.
You should have had him play with your rock-hard tits.
They're not rock hard, they're jingling. They are.
They did not move once during that Periscope.
They didn't
Bag
at
of
all.
gold. They're
Yeah.
jingling.
One time I saw a bird hit it and die. A bird flew into your tit and died.
It's not the bra. It's not the same bra from last
Let me
time.
tell you something. Kashmir, I'm giving you an A as a producer, what you did today.
Great job,
Thank
guys.
you.
Unbelievable. He's got it. The kid's got it.
I'm going to give you an incomplete, only because you might have gotten Dan fired from yesterday. And how long were we in that meeting today, Chris?
Oh, my God, an hour at least?
Why would he get fired?
Because of the fucking...
The fuck up.
Do you not see the difference of the screaming matches that you were having yesterday and the very funny BL running around today?
Well, Kashmir just sat me down and we didn't talk about nothing because he knows that you've already approved me, so he doesn't need to question me at all. He just
But
made sure I knew not to.
He
approach
brought the real BL through the screen, and that's what we were looking.
He Rick Rubin this thing.
Are you working tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
I got a couple ideas for you. Top of the Rock, Empire State Building,
Love it.
or New Freedom Tower. One of those has to happen.
No way.
Yeah.
Benny, no way.
You're going to climb on the outside of it.
Can you do it?
And, and then through your rock hard tits, chip away.
My tits. No, you know what this Kashmir dude does? He makes love to you with his eyes. He could tell me, when I was derailing like I did yesterday horribly, which is not DP's fault, but he made
Double
love to me.
penetration?
He just read me deep. Like
Yeah.
he just looked me and he knows. And that's when I said, this is the town where this is Benny's gig.
The most
He
intimate
knows-
periscoping.
He hand-plucked this child
Yeah, I did. I hand plucked them.
out of his loins.
I don't think so. I did not take him from my loins.
That's how interns are born.
Only one person here is from my loins. That's
And that's nobody's business who
Yes.
it is.
Right.
So we don't have to bring it up.
Oh.
So me and Kashmir are out early. Like I was running a little late today because you're meeting with Weegie.
Yes, my meeting with Weegie over your thing yesterday.
Weegie board.
I tried. DP and I tried. He didn't know what to do with me. You know me, Ron. It's not his fault, man. The kid he's amazing.
Well, we're
I've
in
watched
meetings
him
about the fucking guy now.
Pardon me, Chris?
We're in meetings about him now. Thank you.
All we've done is defend him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are the ones.
We don't want
in
to
the
see
back.
anything happen to DP.
He's world renowned.
Let's not call him DP.
Oh, I thought we were
I don't
all
want
doing that.
The kid is a very funny kid. I don't want him being called double penetration.
Steely DP. That's what I always.
And DP probably over-prepped me. Maybe he just thought, I don't want you to screw up. So anyway, you did a great job, DP. But Kashmir really kind of knows my idiotness.
Well, who would you like to take out with you tomorrow?
Kashmir.
That'll be the person who keeps his job.
Good deal.
Sounds like a plan.
The other one, I can no longer.
And now I know what Lucy means for her, too. Before we started,
What is
she's
it,
got-
Chris?
Oh, comedian Mr. Dez Bishop has arrived to come hang out on the show. He's performing at Caroline's this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd.
Where is he?
He's coming down the hall. Joe's grabbing him.
All right, Kashmir, let's get you up. BL. No, you can hang in the room, BL.
Thank you, guys. I had a great time.
Well,
Kashmir,
you did great.
I love you. How old are you?
We're doing something else now, BL. You can ask him that on his own time.
Yes, sir.
He's a child.
Little baby.
He's a well-dressed child.
You should see that kid out there on the street. He could work on a movie set, but you got a guest coming in, so we'll move on.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck now. Now, where would you like to go tomorrow if it was up to you?
I don't know.
You have a problem with heights?
No.
Shit.
I'm okay.
That would have been better. Do you have a problem with widths? We might want to send you far away.
Find a pit we could with great Wi-Fi.
You know what? You know what Stanley's real good at?
What's that?
Yesterday when I was like crying for my life and waiting for somebody to throw me a raft, like if Benny was in the middle of me and Gail and he had to throw one over, who would it be?
Yeah.
It was that kind of a day. You send me all these widgets on my iPhone, pulling planes, pulling trains.
There were trains.
It was horrible.
And
it
a
was
sad face.
I cried all the way down all the streets of New York.
That's because of all the trains, you know.
So, but thanks a lot for having my back. But I'll have your Mets back tonight.
They're my Mets.
Let's hope they do well.
You're done, BL.
I'm getting out.
Yeah, no, you could just move over here. And,
I'm getting out.
you just gotta wait for the guest, and if it works out, you can meet him. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
All right, say now you're not. Now you're not, because you said a big bassy yeah.
All right, Dez Bishop is coming in studio. Dez is performing this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets and go to www.dezbishop.net for additional dates. And on Twitter, it's at Dez Bishop.
Hey.
Dez Bishop, first of all, I'll say this. Best dressed comedian we've had in here.
Yeah. It was not deliberate. I have a meeting later that I had to dress like this for, and I was aware that it might be commented upon. So
I love it.
I think you should always dress like that.
You know, there's only a couple of comedians that dress well.
Artie Fuqua is one.
Well, he looks fantastic.
He looks great at the moment after everything he's been through.
Paul Feig, now that they've already put him up to thing, dresses every day in a great way. Who else is?
Paul F. Tompkins is a great
he's
dresser.
phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Not so
He's
familiar.
phenomenal dresser.
A lot of the UK guys are big suit guys.
Are they?
Yeah, Michael Mack. There's a lot of guys. It's funny. There's a lot of guys massive in the UK, and they're doing big arenas, and they're making gazillions of pounds, and nobody knows them over here. But there's a few dapper ones.
It doesn't translate as well. When we get a British comedian, we love him and we keep him for years, but they have to somehow break into this market. Whatever they did somewhere else does not matter.
Yeah. It's tough. It's less easy to translate than music, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which I myself, even though I'm a kid from Queens, I myself am trying to sort of change into U.S. mode because the majority of my career has been in Ireland. So I even myself feel a bit of that challenge.
You feel this like you've got your piece in Ireland, felt great. You already did those things. Now you've got to redo them in the United States.
Well, I mean, I definitely have to redo it in terms of like nobody knows who I am. I mean, you get a little bit of kudos because, there's a lot of Irish Americans. So like, there's a lot of people like in the industry that go, oh, my cousin was a big fan and I saw your thing. So I said it to Bob, the owner or whatever. So you get a little bit of a step up, but still at the end of the day, people don't know who I am, but that's fine.
YouTube does help though. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And actually the clips of mine that have the most likes or the most views are all like the clips that were really big in Ireland, which actually do not translate at all. Like two of my sort of best routines in Ireland just are not funny to Americans. I spend half the time sort of like explaining to Americans, look, don't look at that clip. You won't know why it's funny. You'll think the Irish have no sense of humor. So
yeah. What is the big difference in the Irish sense of humor and the American?
Well, actually, I mean, I've spent a lot of time looking at like this concept of sense of humor because, I learned Chinese and I've learned Gaelic. But like that aside, I actually don't think sense of humor is as big of a thing as much as just references are and just cultural familiarity. I actually think people's sense of humor is relatively similar. And most of the time it's just about what people are familiar with. And then in terms of just like, say when I was in China, right? And I was doing stand-up comedy in Chinese, and I was watching other guys do stand-up comedy in Chinese. You'd have to say, yeah, this is a little bit more basic. But I don't think that's because their sense of humor is less sophisticated. I think it's just because the exposure to humor that they've had is less. Right. So they haven't had a chance to sort of take it to the next level. But I think the human brain is relatively similar. So I'm not as much into sense of humor as I am just cultural references and the things that mean something to people. Like, I'll give an example. Sex and race are much bigger themes in American comedy clubs.
Is that right?
Really?
Oh, like you really notice it. And I'm cool with that. I love talking about sex. I'm not exactly sure why there's so much obsession with race. It almost disappoints me that we're still in that place here in the United States. But you don't see that as much in a UK or an Irish comedy club.
Well, I think the reason why Americans obsess on race is we've made it a taboo. We've made even talking about it a taboo. So as soon as you bring it up, it brings out nervousness in people, which hopefully could be turned to laughter instead of anger.
It's a fine ingredient for the creation of humor. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the laughter comes from, I wonder if people are going to be nervous or get angry around us. This brought that up. Because we've taken race into a thing that, like you said, we feel like we should be past, particularly, I think, after, a 2-term black president, and yet we still are not.
Well, I had this interesting. I brought a Chinese comedian over here.
Mm-hmm.
He left today, and I brought him over to do a Chinese language show in Flushing Main Street. And we were driving around, and we went from the Chinese neighborhood to the Korean neighborhood. And he said, "Oh, I get it." He actually said this out loud. He's like, "I get it now. America has all these people, but none of them are together." They're all separated. And I said to him, New York is meant to be a melting pot, but it's actually a TV dinner. Like, we're all here, but we're all in our own little sections. Now, of course, it's not 100% true.
Right.
But when you still have that scenario, I guess that's why that sort of racial stuff works, because there's still the sense of the other. I mean, we're all together, but we're still the other, and then people can play off that.
Although, LA comics come here and they say, wow, you guys mix a lot better than we do in Los Angeles. They say even in Los Angeles, because of the cars and hills and valleys and stuff, people stay even more separated. Where in New York, I think we're forced to bump into each other.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
I mean, it's definitely the case in the comedy clubs. I mean, it's great. It creates a great atmosphere. Where you from? I'm from the Bronx. Where your parents from? Puerto Rico. And then all of a sudden, it's like, all this sort of racial banter back and forth. And I mean, I think it's all well-meaning, but I'm just surprised that it's still so.
Yeah, it's shocking, I think, to everyone. I think we're all particularly, but at the same time, maybe we're going faster, but just not as fast as we think we're going.
But I was also obsessed with it as a kid. Like, I grew up in Flushing, right? So when we were kids, it was always like, where are you from? But we didn't mean like, what street are you from? We meant, where are your family from? Where are your people from? So that's always a big thing. I think West Coast comedians also say East Coast people are obsessed with identity. Like, they're really obsessed with what your background is. So it's possibly just more in us to sort of focus on that.
Well, you're a Mets fan, right?
How did you know
that? You're a famous Mets fan.
I'm absolutely. I'm so happy that the Mets, it's so deep within me, the happiness that I have at the moment. However, I feel it's affecting my career. Because Met fans are just not used to the postseason. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously 86 was my first one, right? There hasn't been many since, but, I'm just so not used to the postseason that I actually didn't realize it's a serious commitment. It's a serious commitment. It's like falling in love. When you fall in love with a woman, it's just like, you just can't get enough of them. But then very quickly, it's just like, wow, this is like, so the first 5-game series, now I'm just like, my God. I mean, we have a chance to win it now, and I believe, but it's very difficult.
Not as pleasant as one would think, right? It's an unpleasant experience. There's the tension of baseball,
the stress
is unlike any other sport.
It's so stressful. I was at the game the other day. It was so cold. It was freezing, but I mean, I think it's worth it, but I think for Met fans, it feels like it's much more than just the postseason. It's just like, it's such a rarity. And such a commitment. Like, the Mets are they're so deep within your blood that
people feel like if the Mets win, their life will change somehow. That it isn't a sports team winning, but somehow there'll be redemption.
Well, all sports fans have that kind of magical thinking. Like, they connect themselves. Right. They think everything that they do can affect their team.
Well, for me, it means a lot, because it was the one thing I never let go of. It's like my one connection back to Queens and who I am all those years. I mean, I moved to Ireland when I was 14 to go to boarding school. My family never left. So I never let go of the Mets. My grandmother's Irish grandmother, she was mad about the Mets. So for me, it was the last thing that connected me. So it even adds.
Did you pick up on hurling or?
Oh, I love Irish sports are incredible. Yeah. Hurling is one of the best things to follow in the world, because it's still amateur,
Well, that's the amazing thing if you watch that sport, that these guys play in front of stadiums and all, but there's no getting traded. There's none of that. They play for the town they were born in, and that town feels a connection to them. And then, you're famous and not even being paid, and literally playing in front of a stadium like it was a soccer stadium.
Yeah, and it's directly connected from grassroots up. It's the same organization. So, when some kid plays intramural soccer here in New York, like, that would be the beginning of his professional soccer career later on.
He would be watched.
Yeah, but also, like, he'd still be connected to the same organization all the way through. So
Yeah.
it's quite different. Like the organization that's putting 90,000 people into Croke Park for the final of the hurling is the same organization that's looking after the under 10s championship during the summer. So it's a pretty impressive thing that happens. But it is a small country, which makes it, it makes it capable for that to happen.
Yeah, and you're also, some of the stars, you might live next to them or work with them. You know what I mean? Like, literally.
Well, they're working. Yeah, they're still working. They're only
Yeah.
amateurs. I mean, they get a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Like, if they win in All-Ireland, they're not expected into work on a Monday morning. They don't have to get a doctor's note, because they are national heroes.
But yeah, there's a purity to that we've gotten away from. Because let's face it, the guys playing for the Mets aren't from Queens. The guys playing for the Phillies didn't grow up in Philly. Imagine if they did. But there's another divisive thing that if someone tells you you're a fan of something, that immediately tells you something about them. If someone says, I'm a Bears fan, you put them in a certain place in your mind. They say, I'm a Bucks fan. You're like, really? Is that what you're doing now? You know what I mean? But, so
what does it say to be a Mets fan? I'm curious.
Well, being a Mets fan has got to be a chip on your shoulder that you didn't take the easy road for the Yankees, that you are a contrarian by birth, to me.
Yeah.
To say to yourself, I am not giving up on this organization, even though they many years never earned your loyalty. You know what I mean? The Mets were run lousy for years.
Yeah,
but
and
you
horrible owners and all these other things that could give you a reason to jump ship.
Right. But you didn't say, I'm not joining the Yankees. And I love the fact that a lot of those guys were Dodger fans, wouldn't go join after the Dodgers left, and then went and found a home with the Mets after all these years. But they would take the Dodgers back if the Dodgers came back to Brooklyn tomorrow.
People still bring it up.
Yeah.
I think there's still a generation of people who are hurt that the Dodgers were.
It was
taken
one of
from
the.
them.
It was for Brooklyn. That was their 9/11. That's what. That's the way they think of it. But that's amazing to feel that connection. And I don't think it's like we try to get soccer big in this country, but I think if you don't fall in love with it when you're young, when you're small, it's tough then to go, okay, it's growing. It's a very rare thing for a sport to grow.
Yeah, but I tell you, one of the great things about being back this year, this is the first time I've spent the whole summer in New York since 1990. Just to be able to listen to the Mets every night,
Isn't it amazing?
Driving into gigs and listening to Howie Rose, it's just the greatest thing. There's no other sport like that in the world where you could just listen every night.
You would actually prefer to listen sometimes rather than watch. I grew up with the radio on, while we were doing stuff. The radio would be on in the yard. You could hear it. Your dad would be listening to it. Most sports you actually need to see. To listen to professional football on a radio is a very difficult thing. You hear the bicycle 3-yard gain. You're like, what? But since the way the rhythm of baseball makes it perfect to listen to, and also the difference between now, like the playoffs and the end of the year. If your team gets killed in June, you don't care. You got plenty of games. There's so many games. And then you get to the playoffs, and there isn't. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, this relaxing, easygoing sport becomes so tense. Every at-bat becomes so heavy.
So tense.
And
I went to Game 3,
Yeah.
against the Dodgers. And when Harvey gave up those 3 hits, I actually thought, why is this happening to me?
Right.
All these years, I waited 9 years. I got tickets to 2 games in 2006. I flew all the way back from Ireland because, as much as I'm a suffering Met fan, I've also suffered 5 hours later than everyone that's listening right now. I suffered through 2007, 2008 in the middle of the night. Watching Oliver Perez stink it up in the middle of the night. You know how much that hurt me?
Yeah.
And I used to put it on MLB.com, but on North American Sports Network in Ireland, so I could watch one game on that, and I could watch the Phillies on that, and the Mets on the thing. So I was watching the Phillies toweling it up, coming back. Anyway, long story short, I got 2 for 2006. The first game was rained out. I don't know if you remember, and then I had to fly back to Ireland, so I only got to see one game. I didn't get to see the makeup game, and I remember being in that stadium. I really thought, this is going to be great. Coming back for a few years now, I'm always going to come back for the playoffs. I never thought that I'd be coming back 9 years later. And then I'm in the stadium, and he goes 3 runs down. I was like, why is this happening to me? It's bad enough being a Mets fan. I could have been here yesterday. I could have went to L.A. But that was the best experience ever. I've never experienced the hatred that was put towards Chase Utley that day. And actually, I remember thinking, now I know how Hitler did it. You know, like now I know how people can actually, because I don't hate Chase Utley. Like deep down inside, I don't really want anything to happen to Chase Utley. But at that moment, I think I was capable of being part of the mob that would do something bad.
And you saw his last at bat in L.A. He gets a standing ovation. People going crazy. So here's these two cities who's one are saying that's just a baseball play, and the other city is like, this is the worst human being that is in this country right now. And you honestly believe it and I'll say to Mets fans, I'll go, well, like, you know, when you get to the playoffs, you do those kind of plays more than you wouldn't do that in June, try to take out but you break up double plays. And there's no talking. There's no talking other than this is just the worst person ever.
Dez Bishop is in studio. Dez is performing this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets and go to dezbishop.net for all additional dates. And on Twitter, it's at Dez Bishop.
You guys are national, right?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm also in Boston on the Saturday in the Wilbur Theater, and I'm in Portland, Maine, also on the Sunday.
That sounds fun as hell, man.
Yeah, Portland, Maine will be tough. I mean, I do the Wilbur in Boston because there's a lot of Irish there.
Yeah.
You know, so they know me. But Portland might have been a stretch. But the Wilbur booked it. It's like, I think it's called One Longfellow Square. But if there's any Maine people out there, it's a good, you know, my show actually is about China. So it's a bit of a different stand-up show to normal. But if you're into seeing a bit of a different type of stand-up show, by all means do come along.
And you love China.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, my journey to China was like a long one of why I went. But for the listener, I decided for a TV show to move to China with no Chinese and then try to learn enough Chinese in a year to do stand-up comedy in Chinese for a Chinese audience. And then sort of use that experience to sort of show the world a different look at China. A lot of focus on China tends to be a bit negative. I'm not a propagandist for the Chinese government, but I just wanted to show a little bit about Chinese people and Chinese culture. I thought it would be interesting. So I did that, but it kind of sort of took over my life. I was only supposed to be there a year. I ended up staying for 2 years. And I also found myself in the middle of like an emerging stand-up comedy scene in China. So now that's actually why I moved back. I didn't move back because I was dying to come back to New York. I mean, I'm delighted to be back, but I actually moved back because I couldn't continue in China. Career-wise, it was just limited. So I thought I would come to Flushing, which is where I grew up, but in the meantime has become completely Chinese. So detoxing off China, I'm in the methadone clinic that is Flushing, Queens.
Yeah.
And I'm weaning myself off China and sort of continuing my Chinese life in Flushing while at the same time developing my English stand-up in the best city in the world to do that.
Well, you know, we talk about, you know, divisiveness of things like race, but once you get to meet people, I think people are pretty similar no matter what we're looking at in the world. Correct?
I mean, I think so for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the big surprises, like, so when I first started doing the thing, most Chinese people were like, well, first of all, we don't have stand-up, so they're not going to really know, they're not going to get that type of humor. And also, our cultures are just so different that you won't know the laughing points. You know, the Chinese translation for punchline is xiaodian, which directly translates as laughing point, which even in itself fits the stereotype of like, even their humor is bloody mathematical. It's like, you get to the spot. Even though a lot of jokes are formulaic and you can follow a formula. But to my surprise and to their surprise, I just used my own style of storytelling, fish out of water, observations about their society, and it totally worked, and they totally got it. And like all cultures, they liked looking at how a foreigner, you know, sees them.
Sure.
You know, they were open to that. So definitely not as different, and certainly not as, you know, people thought that they would be super protective, this foreigner, this white guy coming here and saying, you know, what are we like? But that wasn't the case at all. And I mean, that might be just where they're at. You know, they've evolved to a sense where they're totally open to that. I mean, the internet has a lot to do with it.
It's amazing how the internet has changed stuff, right? Yeah, but you know, we were talking about Periscope. You could just click on Periscope and see people in different places in the world living their life in this moment. It's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah, I tried to Periscope game 2.
Did you?
I tried to do the commentary, but I had nobody with me. I was on my own. It's like impossible.
Yeah.
Not the other game 2 of the division series. And like, it's impossible. You just have to keep talking. I really have a renewed respect for Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, and Gary Cohn. You just have to talk like all the time.
You know, Vin Scully has done it by himself with the Dodgers since Brooklyn. He's still doing it 60-some years, and he doesn't want anybody in the room with him. Yeah. And he'll just sit there and talk the game, and he's probably the most beloved voice out there. People, equate him with the sport himself. But I thought one of the strangest thing is how long, when did they go out? 58 I think they went out in 58 to LA. And there's only been 5 rainouts that he's ever had the entire and 5 rainout home games in LA in that many years, which is like 50 some years.
He doesn't have to talk to an entire rain delay, does he?
Yeah, he's got to keep it going.
Well, then he's in the right city, man.
And he's got that laid back thing. You'll see clips of him. There'll be an earthquake going on. It's starting to shake up a little bit out here. Everything has got that cool demeanor about it.
Yeah. So anyway, the internet has actually, the internet is causing a bit of a sort of an international burst of comedy, like stand-up comedy as we know it all over the world, but it definitely had a big influence on China. So all of a sudden, these guys were kind of familiar with it.
Right. Well, a lot of comics, Tommy Rhodes has just toured the world.
He's been to my club in Beijing, man.
And, he just loves it. I mean, he's played everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Without worrying about, am I going to draw? What? He'll just go there and find out what is happening. But now a lot of people are drawing with expats,
he's doing that.
And which is kind of interesting in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing about the gig, say, we did in Beijing, which Tom did, you do get expats, but you do get, like, English-speaking Chinese, and you do get people that are into the culture, and they really love it.
Yeah.
And even when we did the gig in Flushing, we had English-speaking Chinese, and they love it. But like Tom is doing like Singapore and all these places, it's not just expats, people that speak English are going. Yeah, a lot of people get into comedy because, there's like rumors out there that if you really want to get fluent, to understand humor is like the real deep fluency. So a lot of language students actually try to understand jokes. So then they go to the gigs and they just become passionate about it. It is a bit of a stereotype, but Asian fans, like when they love you, they love you.
They
like really, really deep. Becomes like they will send you like long letters, and it's pretty passionate. like their dedication to you does not equate with your level of fame, so to speak.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
So once they're into you, they're mad for you. They're just
absolutely
crazy.
mad for you. And but they're also like they're also inclined to give you a lot of advice, which the average Western comedian is like, what? So, like, I get a lot of letters from, like, Chinese people like, I thought your show was really good. Maybe one of the things you should think about is dressing a little better. Or, like, they'll literally give you, like, career advice, that's just a Chinese cultural thing anyway. They feel that that's part of what they should do to sort of not just point out the positive, but point out the negative.
Yeah.
Which, it's funny about cultural differences. That took me a while. Like culturally, sometimes like I lived with a family for a year in China, and she would often, like one time I met this girl and I showed her a picture and she was like, "Oh, she's not good looking." Cause I had said she's good. She's like, "Oh, she's not good looking." And I was like, "Whoa." I couldn't. She's like, no, I'm just, I'm like, it's just a cultural difference. Like that wouldn't be considered a big deal. She's like, "But why should you be upset? In my opinion, she's not good looking." Western guys think all Chinese women are good looking. You can't even tell the difference.
No, we find them all stunning. You're all fabulous.
Here's a cultural difference. Do you know that Chinese people think Lucy Liu is not good looking?
Is that crazy to me?
It's nuts. It's not true.
You know what they say?
What?
She looks too Chinese.
They like it a little.
Yeah, the eyes are too small. Like just not the Chinese flavor.
Well, we were saying that.
I was like, fine, leave her alone. I got it.
We were saying that before too about Chinese cartoons. They always make the giant eyes, and you always do impressions because
Oh yeah, the Japanese anime cartoons.
Yeah.
Yes, and the funny thing is that a lot of people think because they get their eyelids done, to make their eyes bigger, and a lot of people think they're trying to look Western, but they're actually not. They're trying to look like the anime cartoons.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's the big thing.
And it's more about like the cuteness, like a baby animal or something. And
it's so all about cute.
Yeah.
It's all about cute. I learned that after a while.
Yeah.
That's when I started getting laid.
Yeah.
when I stopped trying to be the bad guy and I started trying to be the cute guy, then I got those 2 fingers up, and then all of a sudden I started getting some action. Yeah, they like cute.
Yeah.
Dez Bishop's in studio. He's performing this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd, at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. Go to carolines.com for tickets. And October 24th, he'll be at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. And on October 25th, he'll be in Portland, Maine, at One Longfellow Square. Go to dezbishop.net for tickets.
I love Portland, Maine.
I'm sorry for adding to your.
I'm
adding to your
that's
bit.
his thing.
I love it. I want more dates.
The thing is, well,
plenty of Irish dates, but I just don't think we're going to be heading over there. Although you never know. No, actually, I never tweeted. I could have got some Irish people listening.
You, that's after this. You're going back to Ireland.
I'm just going back for the month of November.
Yeah.
Just actually, there's this great thing that happens in Ireland. It's called Kilkenomics because it's in Kilkenny, but it's an economics and comedy festival. So more sort of performance-inclined economists come to Kilkenny, and all the sort of forum discussions are moderated by comedians. And the comedians' mission is obviously to keep it funny, but also to sort of keep them in layman's terms. And it's really, really interesting. But actually, I forgot his name, but the Greek finance minister that resigned at the end of the crisis there, he's coming this year. And you know who goes? Max Kaiser. You come across him? He's a pretty big name.
So these guys will come there just to talk.
Yeah. So every show has like a theme.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm moderating a China one, but there's all various different themes about will the euro survive? Has America really recovered? You know, these types of themes. And then you'll get 3 or 4 economists and a comedian in the middle chatting about it. And then there's some more fun ones, like every year there's a jargon busting one. So like they just break down like, the terms of the year, because like CNBC suddenly just has these terms. Nobody really knows what they're talking about. So they kind of break down the terms. It's just really funny and informative. It's like an interactive TED Talk.
Right.
It's 4 days in Kilkenny and it's great. So I'm going back for that. I'm doing a few Irish TV shows, and then I'm starting a new stand-up tour at the end of November into early December. I'm doing a few shows, but that's the beginning of like a new show, just a normal stand-up show. I've been talking about China now for 2 years, so
yeah.
These gigs actually this weekend are pretty much the end of my Made in China run.
Are you gonna tape any of these? Are you gonna?
I taped Made in China in Ireland. We did like a live taping.
Yeah.
And we were recording a DVD. It's weird that they still say we're recording a DVD. It's
right.
Like I don't even have a DVD player anymore. I don't even have a place to play it.
Yeah.
So we did that with Universal, and obviously it's going to sell in Ireland, but hopefully they'll sell it around the world. I mean, the great thing about the evolution of the industry is there's plenty of people that will just buy it. I don't even care if they buy it for cheap. So hopefully that'll be available in the States, and then people can see it, because it's the more universal show. In the past,
Sure.
A lot of my stuff has been a bit sort of Irish centered, but this show totally translates. Everybody can see it, and so hopefully it'll be out there. But we'll wait and see.
I was Joe Jackson just did this album where he wrote and recorded different songs in different places in the world, and I was wondering if that changes you. Would you write the same way if you were living in Berlin as opposed to New Orleans? And I think humor would be even.
Humor's got to be the biggest.
Yeah,
it's got to be the biggest.
It's got to be but I wonder how much your perceptions change. Like, I wonder if you would write a joke in one town that you would not be able to write in another town. Like, if somehow geography is that much tuned in.
Even if you're not thinking about the audience.
Yeah, even if you're not thinking, because you're in that environment. Just like New Yorkers write in a different fashion than guys that are based out of L.A.
Yeah.
You see it all the time.
Well, I mean, definitely some types of material would be affected by place.
Right.
I think one-liners, it would be hard to see place, infiltrating your one-liner mind.
Right.
But then, I guess it depends on like what you see. Like, I think things like if you spent a lot of time with your brother and his kids and his wife, you might find yourself writing some jokes about, looking at other people raising their kids. So, I mean, obviously environment affects a lot, but definitely one thing I've noticed is like different scenes have different things that you see running through. Like I have noticed, for example, a lot of people sound like Bill Burr now. And I didn't notice that 10 years ago. And I think that's absolutely fine. People are being inspired by Bill Burr. Yeah. Like when I look back on some of my early stuff, I can see the people that were influencing me. I didn't notice it at the time, but I can see it now. But, And you'll notice in New York, a lot of people are very laid back. They lean against the back wall because a lot of the stages have a back wall. So like those are things you don't see in other parts of the world. But in New York, people just get up and they lean on the back wall and they have like a vibe. So definitely the scene that you're in affects the way that you perform. And of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but it's something you do notice.
But even like when people can't, let's say there isn't a Bill Burr, but that guy might be, the guy that you think of as original might be sounding like the people that he grew up with. You know what I mean? Like, whether you like it or not, there was some guy that was 17 when you were 13 that you decided to yourself, okay, this is the way people talk and act and walk and dress without even consciously
But I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
a comedian from Brooklyn 20 years ago sounds different to a comedian from Brooklyn now.
Right,
A major
sure.
difference.
Yeah.
A comedian from Brooklyn 20 years ago was like an angry New York guy, and now he's like a thinking sort of.
Right,
skinny
exactly. And go back 20 years before the angry guy, and he was probably Yiddish. You know what I mean? There was probably that thing. And you would never, you look, it's very funny how some comedy ages where some of it seems like it does last the ages. Another one is just about that moment in time. That
100%.
And
that's. But I think I don't like when people judge the stuff that doesn't last as if that's less.
Right.
Because I think it's important to have a testimony to that time.
Yeah.
To say, what? Okay, we don't find it funny now, but why was this funny at the time? What has evolved since that time? I think it's good to write that stuff.
But it's also interesting to know why that even worked then. Like, where was the world's head? Where was the country's head? I mean, the fact that we don't really do pratfalls anymore, I think the most dangerous thing back then was hurting yourself, like hurting your leg, hurting your head. There wasn't a hospital.
Assault.
Oh, you won't be able to work. You'll be homeless. And I think those because if you go back and watch like those show audiences of some of that stuff, and these people wiping tears out of their eyes, and they and it must come from that fear factor of, oh my God, he's so stupid. He's doing the worst thing that you could possibly do.
Well, it's the same as watching a child. You just have to watch your 10-year-old reacting to some Nickelodeon comedy.
Right.
And it is funny to them. And you can't remember why it's funny to them, but it would have been funny to you when you were 10 too. It's just, I guess, the way the brain works and what you're exposed to.
I was telling this when my kids were little. It was Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler were the first time that I saw them as kids laughing as an adult. So those guys will always be important to me because these movies ran all the time and the kids are just dying, And I think it's because you probably as a little kid felt almost superior to them, to their character.
And I think both of those guys have almost a good cross between something like cartoony humor, where their characters are so big and they're so animated. So you're like, oh, I didn't think adult movies could be this funny.
Right. But I think that the two things, you like a comedian that makes you feel smart for understanding him, but then you also like a comedian who's so stupid that you feel comfortable in the room. You know what I mean? And I think Steve Martin brought that years ago when he came out, made people laugh at just the fact that there is entertainment. Like they were like, he made everyone go, oh yeah, everything we've been watching for years is dumb. This guy is pointing out how stupid it is that we sit down and watch entertainers. And then there's other people like Carlin made you think, oh, Jesus Christ, I kind of knew that. So I'm smart. I understand him.
Yeah.
I must be smart.
Yeah, but it's great that we can have all that stuff. And that it can both be equally as funny. Like, I can't stand these people that are like, nah, I don't like him. I like Carlin.
Right.
It's like, well, they're different things. Why can't you like both? I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but don't feel that you can't because you're in the society, you're in the club that, likes hard-hitting, stuff that challenges the social order. You can like both.
Well, it's always funny to me that a lot of comedians are first to appreciate the other brands of comedy faster than the audience will, that there are comedians who could sit down and watch somebody do something that they would never do, but they'd be like, oh, that's good. That's smart. What he's doing right there.
Trust me, that hurts also.
Yeah.
Trust me. Damn it, man, that is so simple. Why didn't I think of that? It's so simple. It's so good.
It was right there. It was hanging right there.
Dez Bishop's in studio. He's performing this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City.
Is that all?
No, it's not.
Oh,
there's more.
Oh. Yeah.
October 24th, he'll be performing in Boston at the Wilbur Theater. And October 25th, he'll be performing in Portland, Maine at 1 Longfellow Square. Go to dezbishop.net for all tickets.
Oh, you're not doing the Irish dates?
Don't worry about the Irish dates. They're all up there.
The Great Matters Tour starts at the
Great
end of November
Matters
in
Tour,
Ireland.
Yeah.
Such a generic title.
So do you think you're staying in New York for a while? You're going to base
Oh,
here?
I'm definitely
Yeah.
staying in New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a year or two anyway. I mean, it's weird for me because I miss Ireland. Ireland is my home. I know I have a sort of like 75% Queen's accent, but I've spent most of my life in Ireland, so I miss it. But I also feel, I mean, at some stage I'm going to make decisions in my life that aren't based on my profession.
Right.
But at this stage, I feel like if I didn't give this a proper shot, that I might look back and sort of regret it.
Mhm.
So I'm here now. It took me a long time to get here. Just being away from Ireland long enough in China gave me the confidence to come back. So now I'm here. I'm gonna roll with it. See how I get inspired. Inspired by the fact that actually an American life is so much less safe. That's the one. I haven't written any jokes about it yet, but it's the one thing I've noticed since being back is like, wow, I worry about paying bills a lot more here. I don't mean about having the money to pay bills, just about the fear of screwing up here with my finances. Obviously healthcare being a massive one. All these things that you just take for granted when you're in Ireland, just the social protection that you have without thought. It's really shocked me how suddenly I'm just so afraid of paying bills and make sure everything's on time, and just my future. Like, you think about pensions a lot more the minute you get back. It's funny how this great sort of financial success, the economic success that is America, is actually a lot less. It's a lot more stressful.
Well, it's because we put a lot of emphasis on a dollar. People will think, how much do I have? How much, should I have by this point? I'm not sure whether a lot of people in the world that even occurs to. You know what I mean? Occurs to just measure themselves.
Well, we're not bombarded in Ireland with constant messages about everything could go wrong at any stage, so protect yourself against that.
Yeah.
And that is something. The two things you notice when you watch American television is there's a lot of commercials about your future, your retirement, like don't screw this up. And the other thing is that you can have pharmaceutical commercials here, which you can't have in the United States, which is also gives you fear about getting old. So there's just this constant protecting about screwing up your future, right? Which just, it gets in your brain. And then everybody else is always asking you, like, did you get health insurance? Did you do this? And like, when you say like, oh, I haven't done that yet, they're like, oh my God, like everything is going to go wrong, you know? And I mean, I guess a little bit has to do with moving back near your family.
Sure.
I spent the majority of my life away from my family, so I didn't have to answer to anybody. And I'm not married, so I don't have to answer to my wife's financial fears. But certainly, I have noticed that's ever present a lot more here.
This is where we've gotten with the drug thing in America, which is crazy to me. I saw a commercial, I've seen it twice now, and it's for a stool softener for people who are taking opiates constantly, so becoming constipated. So they're now pointing out, like, hey, you're taking your opiates every day, and this thing actually has this fucking pill following the person around, like it's your friend, like a cartoon pill friend, but you won't be able to take a shit, so you take this stool softener. And I'm like, how fucking nuts did we get? How many people are addicted to opiates in this country? If you could just say, oh, we've got a great way to shit on opiates.
Yeah. Or you could just say, hey, I got an idea. You could take this stool softener, or you could try getting off opiates. Yeah. You could stop having this pill following you around all the time.
Yeah. It's amazing. No one has come up with that one yet. Yeah. No one says to them, hey, you should be done with that pain by now.
But it's illegal to advertise pills, and it's illegal to advertise medication in Ireland.
And almost everywhere else in the world. Yeah. I think us and one other country.
Yeah. It's like one other, maybe two.
Because when you see the commercial, you think you have the thing.
Right. Oh,
and then they say, ask your doctor about it. So everybody's going in. It's like, I think I have an irregular heartbeat.
Right. And then the doctor's like, well, it's odd you brought that up. Some guy just stopped off some pills.
Yeah. Some guy just gave me a little bit of an incentive to.
We had a great lunch.
They had a funny feeling you'd be asking me this question.
Yeah. There was one that was just like, restless leg syndrome.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it doesn't kill anyone. Why would you give a shit if while you're thinking your leg shakes?
I was glad to know that it was a syndrome, though, because I definitely have that. Like lying down at night, I have that. Like, oh God, my legs. I was thinking about taking opiates for it, but I was worried about not taking a shit. But it turns out there's a solution for all that.
All of it.
Yeah, I mean,
just handfuls of
yeah,
pills.
just get the right insurance, man, and you can be happy. And
I just hope you're going to be okay 20 years from now. I'm starting to be worried about it.
I'm starting to get worried, man.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about this stuff?
I've been thinking about it every day. Well, my mother's not in great shape either, which adds to it, and you realize, wow, you really can screw it up. But anyway, all I can say is it's a pity that people are so against socialized medicine here. I love the way they put it, like socialized medicine, because it's a lot less stress in Europe.
Well, the funny thing is they tell us if they socialize the medicine, we'll only get bad medicine. We won't get they basically say that if we get a splinter in our foot, they're going to take our leg off, that we're not going to get decent operations. And that weirdly, this is always gets you about anything to socialize. We think that some jobs you should not get paid much money for. In some jobs, you should become incredibly rich. So a fireman, that's no big deal. Cop, no big deal. Airline pilot. Dentist, you should make just a fucking fortune.
Well,
for being
my
a
biggest
dentist.
gripe is that people are so heavy on teachers.
Yeah.
And they're so important. And people are constantly saying they're overpaid because they get a few months off. And it makes people angry.
You know, the funny thing is, people despise teachers now that I'm an adult. I'm like, I tried to tell you this in third grade. Everybody was against me.
I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. People let their resentments out later on when they have power.
Right.
Well, so I don't want to come across as like I'm being really critical of America. I think America's a great place. But here's a few things that I would love Americans to consider that Europeans do that might make America a little bit better. And number one at the moment is, when you call an election in Europe, there's like a 6-week lead into the election. There's not a 2-year journey towards an election, which will then have to start again in 2 years. So you have this so I don't understand why the Republican primaries are have been going on basically for a year already. We have another year of this coming up. I don't understand why, if everyone's so worried about campaign finance, why we can't just say, for 6 weeks before the election, campaigning starts and then we make a decision. So that would be one thing I'd love to bring from Europe across. Obviously, a better health care would be number 2, and no commercials for medication. Well, everything else I'm happy with.
I will tell you why we do the elections, and that's because it generates a lot of money. I know from growing up in the radio business here that there are a lot of radio stations that if that election comes, the primaries in your state, you get flooded with money from 15 different candidates. You could charge anything because they're just getting the money and they're throwing it out. So the media, and the same thing happens with the newspapers. So the media will never be on your side of let's have less elections.
Of course I knew that there was massive vested interest, particularly from the media.
Yeah.
I got sucked into it too. I was like, I don't even care about Donald Trump, but I wanted to watch those debates.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I've never watched a Republican debate in my life.
I know. And now I was telling this to people. I feel like if he does get elected, I'll miss the third act. It just seems like, how crazy can this get? I want to see us go off the fucking edge.
You really want to see it?
Yeah, I just want to see us falling backwards into the abyss. We fucked up! He's falling backwards.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but...
Yeah.
Listen, it's just so funny because everybody's going on about, like, Trump, like, throughout the last 20 years, like, every 3 or 4 years in some European country, some anti-immigration candidate gets popular for a while.
Right.
They come and go, and it's just...
Yeah, I think when it's time to pull the trigger, we'll see whether people are doing it or not. But you did Anthony Cumia's show, right?
I did.
Well, even he's like, I don't know. He's a little nuts. And I'm like, you were saying that, Ant? Out of everybody, like, he goes a little too far for me. Guys, it's so great meeting you.
Oh,
man.
Thank you so much. If we ever get a chance to chat again, because you're a father-daughter combination, right? The next time we chat, we'll talk about parents and kids doing stuff together, because I had a great experience. So if it ever happens,
I would
again,
love
we'll chat about that.
I'll have you anytime you like to come in. We'd love to have you come in.
Thank you very much.
Dez Bishop is performing this Thursday, October 22nd, and Friday, October 23rd at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. And October 24th, he'll be in Boston at the Wilbur Theater. And October 25th, he'll be in Portland, Maine at 1 Longfellow Square. Go to dezbishop.net for all tickets and all information.
Thank you.
Good job,
Seriously,
Chris.
Wonderful.
And in Ireland, Great Matters Tour. Starts the end of November. Hit it.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it for us. Thank you to BL. We'll have you back in tomorrow as well. And we'll see everybody again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!